The cartoon dogs do. You ruined it. The cartoon dogs do battle, sorta, and the scientists of cosmic proportions make their debut. That and more on today's episode of BrobusCast Death Metal Edition. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I am your host, Brobuscus. With me today, of course, is ZDogg.
You got to battle to the death, Morty. You just got to do it, Morty. You got to battle to the death, Morty. You got to battle to. You just got to do it, Morty.
I could hear the breath leaving your lungs. I could hear you just struggling to breathe there. We also have Richard.
Let's get this show on the road. Alonzi?
Okay, and joining us for this one, someone we haven't had on in a while. Hello, Combo. How are you doing today?
Wubba lubba dub dub. I'm doing actually really good. Imagine being able to relax on a Wednesday. That's crazy.
Couldn't be me.
Actually. Yeah.
All right. So, hey, hi, hello. How are y'all doing today? We all
Doing
chilling?
just fine.
I'm in the process of still recovering from massive fucking hype.
It's
That's like
quite
you have to recover from.
Hey, that's quite a contagious disease, as you know.
It is, I mean, hey, it's floating around. Death Battle has been kind of spreading it around this season. I caught the case of it.
How dare they?
I know, and these have been the long. This has actually been, this has actually been the longest 2 weeks of my life.
The plague of hype has infected us all.
Yes.
Oh Lord, no!
And we're not even done yet, so the plague is going to keep going.
It's almost as if Death Battle should just stop producing Peak.
Well,
Yes.
but then we wouldn't get good stuff to watch, and where's the fun in that?
You know what? That's a fair
True.
point. And on that note, hey, so we got Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog coming out.
It's terror time again!
I can't believe they did the dog matchup after Makima. I hate it here, bro.
Yeah, don't worry, we all hate it.
Funny
here.
how that.
Don't worry about it.
Funny how Death Battle works. Funny how Death Battle works sometimes, ain't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
And they know it.
Gosh. All right. So,
Yes. Scooby and Courage.
Yep. Sorry.
No. Scooby and Courage. It happened!
It happened. It was pretty.
His exist.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
It's we talked about this on the last cast, and I did get. It's funny how wacky lightning strikes twice, and it just leaves you speechless. Because last season around this time we got SpongeBob SquarePants versus Super Friends Aquaman, and at the time we were like, past us, we're like, it's never gonna get this crazy. It's like we've reached the threshold of craziness. And then now, fast forward. We have
the naivety.
Yeah. Now we have two of the most iconic dogs of all time battling it out.
Yep.
And
I mean, yeah.
And things get things are gonna get really interesting really fast when the first thing we have to talk about is
the result.
Wait,
Lack thereof, rather.
Wait, they freaking tied? What are you talking about?
Exactly, because
there was a result, but it wasn't
yes.
the one we were expecting.
yes, because for the first time in 7 freaking years, we have a draw, ladies and gentlemen, and everything
The
else.
first time that it wasn't a joke match too. Like even Goomba
Yeah.
Goomba is debatably a joke match.
Okay, what you just said,
right.
Combo. I'm gonna put a pin in that because I have something. I'm gonna say something about that. So just thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna put a pin in that.
It's at the very it's the first time where like it being a draw wasn't like
It wasn't
intentional.
for
like it like
Lamau and the
yeah, because like
funnies.
It wasn't
Like-
for the comedy.
yeah like all the other ties in this show have been like for like
For shits and
satirical
giggles.
fights. Yes, yeah, for shits and giggles, exactly. Like you walk into them and you're like, this is gonna be like a satirical fight. We're not meant to take this seriously, and it ends in a tie. This one, you know, as much as it, I mean, they are cartoon dogs, but we are taking this seriously.
Yes, this is a serious debate. But the funny thing is, 8 years ago, the last draw that we had was Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie, and at the time, it was that episode's draw, quote unquote. It had a lot of colorful reactions that, to this day, a lot of people, including Death Battle themselves, as we get to the end, when we get to the analysis portion, even Death Battle themselves are kind of, I guess, taking shots at.
Yeah.
So,
I mean-
yeah, no.
This one also had the advantage of A, not being a joke matchup, but B, it also was taken seriously and wasn't the finale. Like, I think Deadpool Pinkie Pie gets a lot more hate because it was a finale.
Yeah.
No, that is fair. Yes, you're correct. But yeah, no. So, most of us who were debating this, we were going in one side or the other. But there actually were, if you can believe it or not, there were people who did kind of predict that this may end up being in a draw, but there was a bit of apprehension about it. Your Only Mate is one of them. During his reaction, he was actually thinking it over really hard, and he pondered this could possibly be a draw. But then he was like, nah, but Death Battle doesn't do that anymore. And then lo and behold, it's a draw! So, Mate gets brownie points for actually being the first among our circle of friends to call it.
There you go.
I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, go on.
You know, it's kind of weird. Leading up in this episode, I'm like, Courage is going to win because he has that sun-shattering feat. Unless they give Scooby one of the ridiculous feats, like surviving Cthulhu, resetting the multiverse or something. And we're watching the episodes. They start talking about his, like, the Dragon Ball level universe destruction. I'm like, okay, Scooby wins. There's not a fight anymore. It's over.
I do actually want to comment on that because I've been holding this in. I did make some research errors whenever we went over this in our prediction. I was under the assumption that they were not going to use everything for Scooby-Doo, and I also the crossovers, I was right. They didn't use those. They mentioned them as feats, but they didn't really use them for Scooby, if that makes any sense.
They
were
just
just
like his skill, but no like strength or anything like that.
Exactly, yes. But there were things that I forgot that actually could have been included in Scooby's arsenal, such as a pup named Scooby-Doo, where essentially the whole joke is every time Scooby and Shaggy get scared, Scooby essentially does what Courage does. And it's like, oh, okay, well, shit. So both of them are kind of immune to physical damage. And then, of course, the Chest of Demons from the 13th Ghost continuity of Scooby-Doo. I actually was surprised they gave that to him because, fun fact, the 13th Ghost incarnation of Scooby-Doo, that's actually not canon. Well, that's not part of the main Scooby lore that we have going on right now. It's actually part of its own continuity. Where, fun fact, both Fred and Velma don't exist as part of the mystery team aspect. It's just Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy-Doo.
Why?
I don't know, but
Not only did they give Scooby essentially the Hellraiser cube, but it's also not canon. Awesome.
yeah, I mean it's Scooby-Doo, but it's not mainline Scooby. Like that's the thing. I did address this. Scooby-Doo has essentially become like Dragon Ball. It has no mainline canon. It just goes off of what's going on currently. There are no consistent. Yes, there are no consistent linear paths of storytelling. There have been shows that have had consistent paths of storytelling.
Although, if you want to talk about stuff that like was included that I was surprised about, I mean, even after watching the crossover, I was not expecting the Dark Matter Meteor.
You weren't expecting it. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Well,
if you had joined us for our watch party of the straight out of nowhere crossover,
I have a job. My bad.
It's okay. No, I'm just joshing you.
How dare you have a job?
How dare I be a part of society?
Yeah, exactly. How dare you? How dare you be a part of a capitalist marketing machine that gives you paper checks that are used? No. No, I'm with Brobuscus. I actually did not, but here's the interesting thing that now, in retrospective, I actually should have expected them to give the Dark Matter Meteorite to Courage, because the Courage and Scooby crossover, it does canonically serve as a finale to Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it put both of them on equal footing, so that actually is acceptable, and they did even mention that in the Black Bar, that the crossover is considered canon to Courage, so Courage getting the Dark Matter Meteor actually makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's all fine and good. My only thing with that is, and I guess this is like the only thing I really have a problem with, is that like, why didn't, like, I feel like since, like, you know, it happened in that movie, I feel like Scooby should have known, like, it existed still, like, and be able to, like, work around that. I don't know. That's the only thing I can really.
Well, the question is how.
How? Because that's the thing. To counter that, the computer, I know this is much later on, but computer didn't know any information on Scooby-Doo and his friends. I guess
that does kind of cancel things out.
Yes, so that balances out that major complaint that I know you have. But actually, you want to know an interesting little bit of irony here that Kira Armstrong brought up to me off camera a couple days ago. If had the crossover not existed, Scooby would have won.
Probably.
Yeah, no. I mean,
like,
just by the stats they put in the analysis, yeah.
Well, not even the stats, because both of them were equal in terms of physical stats, but the only thing that Courage didn't have a counter to was the Chest of Demons.
Yeah.
So had the crossover not come into existence 2 years ago, then Courage wouldn't have been able to counter the chest.
Yeah.
So the crossover saved Courage's life and ended up making this a draw.
There you go. Which, I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, like, I think we can all live with this result as an end.
Yes.
I can live with it.
Would it have been nice to have an actual winner? Yeah, but I mean, I'm at
least glad there was like a genuine reason for the time.
Yes. They didn't dance around it. They straight up did go into why this draw would make sense in terms of a verdict. Yes, they brought up good counter arguments. And most importantly, I think they essentially just made this feel satisfactory, because I know there are people out there who are not satisfied with this being a draw, in which case, okay, so you do want one of your childhood dogs to die. Got it.
Okay, I don't think it's necessarily they want him to die.
At this, at this point, I'm used to my childhood characters dying on Death Battle.
Yeah, that's fair. But, well, I mean, yeah. But secondly, I think this was probably the best way you could have gone, because I think most people, when this matchup was announced, they didn't want to see either Courage or Scooby, you know, die in a simulated fight. They really wanted both of them to just not die. They wanted them to be friends. And look at that. The community actually won, because we all of us who made predictions, statements online, we essentially dated ourselves, because this battle doesn't have a winner.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't have a singular winner. It has two winners.
It doesn't have a loser.
It does have a loser.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It has a loser, but it's not one of the main combatants.
Yeah, no.
Analyzed, all right? That's not fair.
Yeah, no. Speaking of analyzing, how about that? How about those analysis segments for Scooby and Courage?
There you go.
Yeah, no, Mac did a great job editing-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go off, Mac.
Yes.
So if
congrats to Max.
Yeah, if I'm getting my info right, and chances are that that can go either way. As far as I'm aware, Max did basically all of Scooby's analysis. DJ took over for Courage.
Yes. So we got we got two editors for two combatant segments. So yes, that was awesome.
They both did very good.
Yes. Once again, congrats to Galactic Max. He crushed the editing for Scooby-Doo. Legitimately, it was like he was showing that he can ride alongside DJ in terms of his editing skills.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell that it was edited by two different people.
I mean, if you look closely, it's kind of the hints are kind of there, because I do like how more pop there is in Scooby's analysis. Like especially whenever we get to the rundown of the Mystery Gang and we see their names in the Scooby-Doo font over their heads. I think that's a good visual indication that okay, that's Max, and then we get the other crazy stuff. For Courage, that's DJ.
Another interesting note when you were talking about the Mystery Gang, the footage for each of them is all from different incarnations of the characters. So like
yes,
so like no two like clips that were shown when they were introducing the gang were the same.
Yes. Yes, no, they chose different incarnate. I like that. I do like how they did use just going over it. They used Zombie Island for Velma. They used Mystery Incorporated for Fred. They used Be Cool Scooby. We used Be Cool Scooby Doo for Daphne. And I'm trying to. I think Shaggy's was the original 1969 show.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know, but that was a good thing. I like that.
I will say, in terms of Scooby's analysis, I am both proud and honestly surprised that there was not even a single joke or even slight jab at the Velma show during that entire rundown.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a Scooby analysis, but that seemed like an easy setup for a cutaway or anything, really.
Yeah, so glad you didn't go with that.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't, honestly. Because like it's not necessary, and it's not like I don't know, not worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. I do appreciate that they didn't visually dunk on Velma the show, because sorry.
They didn't
Yes,
show
that
footage
may
from
be.
it, didn't it?
No, they didn't. I can confirm they did not. Which
Scooby's not
again,
even in
thank
that
God.
show.
It's not even. Because technically that's not a Scooby-Doo show. That is its own fucking. That's in its own separate continuity that has nothing to do with Scooby-Doo. It's not even adjacent.
Yeah.
So.
That dog is lucky.
Yes, it's essentially another. It's like a live action Iron Fist from Iron Fist's analysis with Poe.
There you go.
They showed the show. Was like, I'm happy they didn't dunk on the show in the analysis, and here we all are dunking on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
Hey,
we don't. Delicious.
We don't need to have professionalism here. We're just nerds talking about the show that we like.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know what?
What's that?
Exactly. And you know what? The show that we like did good. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. I just rechecked it because I wanted to make sure it was accurate. Yes, they did. They did. They went from all the different popular incarnations of Scooby-Doo, starting with 69 for Shaggy, and then the rest that I mentioned for the other 4 members.
There you go.
Or 3. Also loved how they visually dunked on Scrappy.
Yeah, that one's good.
Oh, okay. So I guess Boomstick doesn't like Scrappy. Well.
Okay,
all the
name one person who does.
It doesn't really sound like anybody likes Scrappy.
There are you all were going to be surprised. There are fans of Scrappy out there.
I mean, fair.
I mean,
but...
you say I'd be surprised, but I barely know who this guy is. So
he's okay. Just to get it out, he's essentially Scooby-Doo's little cousin. He was introduced to spike up the revenue and ratings boost for Scooby's later shows, and his whole catchphrase is he's unlike Scooby, he's actually brave and is willing to jump into danger, and his main catchphrase is puppy power. He screams that at the top of his lungs every time he wants to throw hands with somebody in a mask.
Gosh.
So many people hate Scrappy-Doo. There's a Family Guy bit where Brian has like a Scrappy-Doo parody who goes to fight a monster and like gets brutally murdered. Like that, he is such a joke that everybody hates him. It's like a Jar Jar Binks scenario, but worse. Because at least I find Jar Jar Binks charming.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There you go. That's a better way of putting it. So yeah, appreciate the Scrappy dig, but you know, yeah. Also, just love how they didn't use, interestingly enough, they used mostly all the animated show they mostly used the animated incarnations of Scooby-Doo for visual, and they only used the 2002 theatrical movie as the only live action source, because Scooby has had a lot of live action adaptations.
Wait, are you saying in an analysis of a character who's known for Toon Force, they stuck to the cartoons for visuals? That's crazy.
Perish the thought. Well, I mean, to be fair, aren't the other live-action Scooby-Doo movies like Dog Water?
Yeah, I mean...
Shut your mouth.
Okay, this depends on what you think. I mean, the 2 Cartoon Network ones aren't that great, but you know, the first 2 live-action movies, those were actually written by James Gunn. Don't get your hopes up on that.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, I'm looking those up later. I am putting those on my media thread.
Okay.
And you cannot stop me.
No, don't get your hopes up for a second, because when I say James Gunn, I should specify this was written by young James Gunn. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I don't care. I love garbage movies.
Yeah, no. I mean, the first 2 are fun. They're fun for what they are. They're not the best, but I mean, for being written by somebody who hated Scooby-Doo and originally wanted to turn the first one into an R-rated movie where Shaggy was a legit stoner, Velma and Daphne were a lesbian couple, and Fred was gay, was a gay jock. You know, it was fine.
This sounds like a fever dream.
It is, and but thankfully,
these ones, I didn't realize these ones were done by James Gunn. Dude, I love these movies.
then,
no, like unironically, I love these ones.
I love them too. I love them too. And little did I know, it's like, oh yeah, the reason I like. Little did I know, when I would watch the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, I would come to find out, hey, I like these characters. Oh, you should like these characters because James Gunn is great at doing ensemble cast. Just look at the Scooby-Doo movies. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, now I know.
I didn't realize that was by James Gunn. You just made my day.
Yes, and okay, I'm gonna make your day even further. The director of both of those movies was the guy who would later go on to do the CGI live-action Smurfs movies.
Oh Lord, I don't know if that's a glow up or not.
Oh no, and the best part
is a fall from grace.
Yeah, okay.
And the best part, but the best part, if you ever watch these movies, the best part of them is Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, because I think I mentioned this. It was because of those movies that Casey Kasem, the original voice of Shaggy, him and Warner Brothers chose Matthew Lillard to be his permanent replacement as the voice of Shaggy going forward. So, if it wasn't for those movies, we wouldn't have the current Shaggy voice actor.
Damn.
So there you go.
This is the greatest bit of information that's been fed to me in a while.
And also Buffy the Vampire Slayer and what's her name from Gravity Falls are Velma and Daphne in this movie. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna need to fact check that later. But okay, let's reel it back.
ZDogg's the one
Yeah,
that's
reel
like,
it back.
oh wait, hold on.
Back. You mentioned Gravity Falls. Okay.
No.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yes.
Anyways.
So yes, Courage's analysis was also good. I liked it. It was very well done.
Yeah. Good. They name dropped the phlegm guy, which is like my favorite episode of that show.
They showed images of my favorite / worst Courage villain of all time, Fred.
Gosh. Yeah.
AKA an allegory for sexual harassment, but he's a barber.
Oh.
I don't.
I
was gonna make a joke, but like it just left my brain.
Yeah. I was gonna do the same thing. Nope. I want to make a joke here, but I won't. that's.
Yeah. What's that?
Anyway.
Anyway. I was gonna say, really, I mean, can't really complain much with these analyses. I mean, they were just very solidly written and edited. So.
Yeah. I do like how they save like the crossover for like last, basically.
Last, yes.
That's a cute little thing.
Ending, I also really like the last shot of Courage's analysis was the end from the show.
So from the second from the third to fourth season, I love that. I also just want to say I liked how well written the analysis segments were. Like it was kind of leading up to a ultimate crossover in the analysis, because the first Scooby's analysis is just going over just how famous he is, what he's done these past 55, 56 years, and where he's probably and why he's ultimately the most recognizable cartoon canine like of all time. And then Courage's analysis was more story driven, and it ends with his story now kind of completed. So in case you haven't seen the series, now you have a complete picture of, okay, this is what Courage has done. This is where he was at. And now he has an end to his story.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, in my opinion, was the best way you could have done this, because while Courage's show is now officially over, Scooby-Doo's never gonna end. It's gonna keep going until the sun explodes.
Yeah.
Once it becomes public domain, we'll get a shitty horror movie, and then yeah.
Oh God! Don't well that
you shut your mouth.
Like Zoinks! He's got another knife.
Maybe then we can.
Anyways,
Scooby-Doo X Friday the 13th crossover.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Dude, they would totally cross over with that. Anyways, before we move on to the fight, there's one more thing I want to mention, and we probably should have mentioned it when we were talking about the edit, but whatever.
Yes.
Literally the best thing about this episode, apart from everything. I don't know where I was going with that. It's the feet slates.
Yes, the feet.
Okay, I was hoping someone would bring this up. Yeah, instead of feet, it's for Scooby things he's done for Scooby snack,
and for courage, the things he's done for love.
Yes, that was very nice.
DJ, and Max. Props to you. Thank you.
Yes.
No, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I will say, on talking about the feats, I hate the fact that Shaggy versus Goku might be a debate now. Kill me.
What are you talking about? If we're real, before this matchup, technically speaking, it's always been a debate. It's just now we have more concrete evidence that, yeah, hashtag Goku loses.
Oh, God.
Oh, I hate it, bro. I hate it so much. God. It was 11 million times over. That was so dumb. It's so dumb.
That's Scooby-Doo. That's Scooby-Doo for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shaggy broke some glass that one time.
Yeah. And also Mama Boomstick exists still. Yay! All right.
Yay, Mama Boomstick!
Him actually had to get roasted.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was funny, but yeah.
That was a good surprise.
I laughed. Like, God bless.
Although, honestly, I think a part of me maybe was kind of hoping now for Scooby's analysis, we would have just had all of the characters there. We would have had Wiz, Boomstick, Jocelyn, Ringmaster, and Dummy, and they're all mystery. They're all dressed up in Mystery Incorporated attire.
Yeah, but that would require them to remember Dummy exists.
That's fair. Spoiler alert, obviously, Boomstick is Scooby-Doo.
Oh. I knew it. No, he's Scrappy-Doo. He's Scrappy-Doo. Like in the movie. It's like a mecha Boomstick. Anyway.
It's Goose Scooby-Doo. Mecha Goose.
Yo, Joe! Wait, what am I saying? Okay. Alright. Now let's get into the fight.
Yes. Okay, yes.
Yeah,
the animation.
Holy crap. Hi.
So,
In the fuck?
we called it.
Alright, fine. Yes, you called it. Nate called it. Yes.
The return
Luis
of Luis.
cooked. Yes.
I say that as if he hasn't been involved in like every fight ever, but I mean like okay, so ever since Jack versus Afro came out, I think everybody's been wondering, when is Luis gonna do this again? And even Luis himself is like, yeah, I want to do this again.
Drunk.
The question is, what? yeah, he needs to get drunk first. That's true. But now here it is.
Yeah.
We got the spiritual sequel to Jack versus Afro after like 5 years.
Yep.
And it is glorious.
Sweet damn.
Yes.
Like.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. Luis. To say that Luis and the other people who helped him out cooked, I think is a massive fucking understatement.
Yeah.
What's like the super version of cooking? I don't.
Grilling.
They baked.
Yeah,
Sure.
I guess grilling. Sure.
They grilled.
Yeah.
They grilled.
They grilled. They
They
grilled.
deep fried. There we go.
They
Okay, sure.
Deep fried it.
Is that like? All right, I'm half tempted to title this episode "Luis Deep Fried."
Yes.
Please
No,
do.
no, that's it. No. Yeah, that's the title now.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right. So fun fact. Luis actually didn't get drunk this time around, and he could do this. He actually did suggest doing this himself sober.
Damn.
Freaking
Yes. Yes. And
I mean, good.
Oh
good
my
for
God.
him. But good for him. But the drunk story is funny though.
it is funny, yes.
The drunk story is hilarious, but this
It
shows
is.
character development.
It
True.
does show.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
So, okay, look, let's get into it. So, also, surprise, we didn't start off where the preview started. We actually started
Yeah, I was
before
caught
the
off guard by
preview.
that.
Yes, well, okay. Luis did mention on his personal Twitter when he re-uploaded the preview, quote unquote, that this wasn't exactly how the fight starts. This was just the after the fight started, which they've never done. To most of my knowledge, they've never shown a preview where it doesn't show why they're fighting.
I mean, Ant-Man Adam.
I
didn't
mean-
have it.
Unless the fight itself just starts in the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I get. Okay, so my forgetfulness of Ant-Man versus Adam continues. Thank you.
Damn.
Love how.
Yes. But yeah, so the fight starts in a spooky mansion, and Scooby and
Audible gasp.
Courage are just looking for their friends.
A fight like this. A fight like this
And then
starts in a
look.
haunted mansion.
Okay.
Perish the thought.
I know. It's almost like that's
Man,
that's how
should
it
have been
would start.
Dracula's castle.
True.
I'll get into that later on. Although 0 out of 10 because in the boards it actually shows as a fun little Easter egg that the fight starts in the same haunted mansion from the original 1960 opening of Scooby-Doo. Where are you? Didn't get that.
Nice touch.
It's like, damn it, same camera angle and everything.
Mhm.
Fuck. But no. Also, another fun fact. This haunted mansion, it's right outside in the middle of nowhere, next to Muriel and Eustace's house.
It would be that unlucky.
It
Yes.
would be.
So so my headcanon is Mystery Incorporated came to investigate this place, and Muriel got lost in this place, and Eustace decided to just be a dick and scare the shit out of Courage.
Of
You
course.
know, I know they don't do them anymore, but I would love to see the post-fight scenes that they used to do with Muriel trying to find Eustace, who's now trapped in the Hellraiser cube, essentially.
Yes, we're jumping ahead. So
Yeah.
what is there to say? What can we say that already hasn't been said other than we just play-by-play this?
I mean, the claymation on the monster was really fucking cool.
Yes,
That's true.
actually, yeah. So we get multiple. We get multiple different styles. This is a hand-drawn fight. It's got 3D backgrounds. The monster is claymation.
Yeah, which I was not expecting that, I'll be honest, but like,
No.
No.
damn, like, I'm not complaining, it looks really damn good, it's just,
Yeah.
Luis, why? Why must you
why?
spoil
Also-
it, Luis?
Before the reveal, I thought it was really cute. Before I realized the reveal at the end, I thought it was really cute that the monster's face was the mask from Courage.
Yes. I also I love how these two start off fighting. It really is just like, oh, Scooby-Doo is pissed off because Courage fucking left him to die.
Rude.
With the monster.
He really tripped his friend in a bear cage.
Yes. Again, Scooby did tell him to go get him. So, like, okay.
No, that kind of escalation is not called for. All I can think of now that you've said it like that is like the regular show theme where he pushes Rigby off the microwave.
Yes.
Like the escalation there is not called for.
Like, wow. That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Well, I mean, you say that escalated quickly. Like then the thumb war happens, and like once Courage loses, he just pulls out a freaking laser gun and vaporizes Scooby's head. I'm like, okay, okay. Well, first off, rude.
Well, Courage literally can't talk. How's he gonna resolve this with words?
That is well, no, he can talk. He can talk. It's just other people cannot understand him. Certain people and animals can understand. Yeah, no, it's fair.
I mean, Scooby understood
also,
him just fine.
Yeah, exactly. Also, too, if we're going by the if we're going by the laws of the Devil Artemis universe, as soon as Courage pulled out his ray gun from the evil chicken, by the laws decreed from the DAU, Scooby had to respect his gangster.
I mean, I feel like we would be.
Look, if he pulls out,
I feel like we'd be following that law if Devil Artemis had like any involvement in this episode ever, but he doesn't, so we're not.
No, rule of thumb in general, if someone pulls out the blicky, you gotta respect it. You don't challenge the man with a gun, alright? It's simple.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, hey, to be fair, Scooby-Doo, the only reason Courage brought out the laser gun is because Scooby-Doo cheated to win his thumb wrestling match. So Courage was in his rights to pull out and pack heat.
Well, I counter that.
Hold up. That was not thumb wrestling, that was boxing.
I counter that. Scooby did that because Courage tripped him, just left him to die, so that he could get away.
And I counter that. Courage, Scooby-Doo just told Courage, you figure out this problem instead of me. He just threw the situation onto Courage.
No, okay, asking your friend to solve the problem and throwing your friend to the giant monster with a hammer is two different things. Courage is the dick in this scenario. He started the fight.
Look, man, it was every man. Look, he has to find Muriel. That's his priority.
Look, they're both basically indestructible. I don't know why they were so scared.
I don't know either, but I do like that little face.
I mean, that's
Courage makes whenever he thinks he accidentally killed Scooby. He's like, oh no. Like, nah, Scooby's fine.
Dude, it's like that Invincible meme. I thought you were stronger.
I mean, you can also view that as, oh shit, I just vaporized my friend's head, but okay, sure, we'll go with the Invincible meme instead.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, also, obviously.
That's funny.
Also,
it's fine.
Also, hey, raise your hand if you didn't know, if you weren't expecting them to do the thing that always happens in a Scooby-Doo chase, where they go through the multiple doors and come out another door.
If you weren't,
actually, this is a podcast. You can't see if my hand is raised.
That's fair.
I mean, that's true. But at the same time, I feel like if you didn't expect that, then you have not absorbed a single bit of Scooby-Doo media.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if that's true, then I really want to know what rock you live under. I might want to join you at some point.
Okay, so actually with the door chase scene, like, we all expected that. What actually surprised me is we didn't get the courage gag of, like, the girl with the pigtails and the scream. I was so expecting that to be behind one of the doors.
Yeah, I am happy
without Godzilla.
I am happy they actually did include the Courage gag, where every time Courage, it doesn't happen in every episode of Courage, it's one particular episode. He opens a door, he sees something horrifying, he shuts it, screams, does it again, boom, rinse, repeat, until we get to the girl with the pigtails, and boom, he's scared. I am actually happy they did that for Courage here, but now I'm a little disappointed that they didn't go with what was in the damn boards. Because in the boards, when he opens the first door, he sees Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my gosh.
God.
And then when he opens...
Fighters is so much funnier.
That is. When he opens the second door, he sees King Ghidorah, which is a reference to when we did see King Ghidorah make an appearance in a Courage episode. where Courage dodged King Ghidorah's fire breath. But hey, I got to. It's an episode featuring the Quack. They basically battle each other with TVs. Whenever you turn them on, whatever the TV does, something comes out of the TV. So when King Ghidorah breathes his signature, and then the last shot.
And then we get Columbo. Hey, have you seen? Did you know this is the Liam episode?
Yes,
I hate it here.
I love how he's more scared of Columbo than he is of the Clay Fighter Snowman and Godzilla. I mean, to be fair.
I mean, obviously he's on Team Light versus Walter instead, so I mean, that's obviously why.
Yeah.
Look, I prefer Light Walter, but I think we can all agree it's going to be Light Columbo's the season finale at this point. It's inevitable. He's been in too many episodes.
We don't know.
If not this season, at some point. Gosh.
Year of the next
also, we get the dupe scene. Scooby is duplicated himself, and he's wearing a pink and yellow dress, which could be a reference to Peach and Daisy, as Mate and others have pointed out. I thought it was just a reference to the color scheme for Courage and Scooby, but hey, doesn't matter.
Either way, I think it's a cute.
Also, also, if you go back to the Scooby door chase scene, you can actually see in the background and in the foreground, Scooby is actually getting the materials ready for the disguises.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Why is this episode? Who said? Why is this episode so fucking smart? Why is it trying to be this funny and this smart with its writing? What the fuck?
Oh, you want to talk about insane references? What about what's coming up? Most out of left field reference humanly possible.
Yeah,
we'll
get to that.
Of course. And then I'm very surprised that we actually get the Sabrinsky Triangle. I was not expecting them to pull this out.
That threw me completely for a loop.
With himself.
But I do like how before that, and by the way, go ahead.
I guess if he can duplicate himself, I guess I really should have seen that coming, but okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I also love how
funny if the second person was the monster, though. That would have been cute.
Maybe. I also love how Courage pulls out the computer, and that is something that we didn't get to, y'all didn't get to see, but the computer is actually a sly asshole sometimes to Courage.
You don't say.
Bro and ZDogg don't know that. Yes.
I mean, the crossover kind of gave that away.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But it didn't hammer in them, because the crossover, the computer,
it's funny and easy,
I guess. And then we get a Wiz and Boomstick cameo.
Yeah, out of nowhere, which is a nice touch and a nice, like, what they said in the analysis, how it shattered the glass, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it shatters the fucking simulation screen. I love how they're watching the fight, which again, more meta. They're watching the simulation play out, and all of a sudden, the Sabrinsky Triangle, and it's burning ice.
Gosh.
Actually, wait, that means that they made a program that made something so powerful it broke their own screen. Wiz is a bad inventor.
Well, I mean, it's kind of been implied that if it's in a simulation, so they transcend the simulation.
There you go.
So that hurts my brain to think about. He made simulated versions of them that were still I hate this. How does that even make sense?
Anyways,
program self-awareness
and then of course we get to the climax of the film. Well, kind of. We're in the third act, and all of us we get the dark matter meteor, and we get the God Bone.
Yep.
2 for 2.
The God Bone, which does Bear Sweet Jackal.
Her Scooby lick the bone.
Yeah, he freaking swallowed that thing whole. I mean, I guess like, I don't know if like the God Bone was mentioned when we were talking about this before, but
yes.
But yeah, I guess you kind of could piece together like if Courage can resist it, then Scooby probably can too.
Well, it's like I find that funny that Courage didn't even give Scooby a chance to try and resist. He straight up just like, yeah, fuck this, and just smacked him along with the mystery machine.
To be fair, if that's a pretty big bone, and there's no way he could lift the entire bone off the ground.
I mean, you'd be wrong, because in that episode where Courage does resist the God Bone, he is actually able to lift the God Bone and kill a bunch of zombies.
Bone off the ground?
Whole bone off the ground, while the other dog that looks like Courage is licking it.
Yeah.
Courage has superhuman Courage does have super strength.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying it's a big bone. Like crushing Scooby with it wasn't the worst idea in the world.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Because again, we got to show that Courage is the aggressor here. So it's like, yeah, fuck him. But we can make the argument that doing that led to Courage's second biggest mistake. He crushed the mystery machine, which, let's just assume, had a whole year's worth of supplies of Scooby snacks inside it, along with the chest of demons.
Yeah.
More important than the chest of demons, it allowed Scooby to achieve his true form, the God of Wrath.
Oh god dang it, yes. And then just I know this goes in the voice acting section, but just the break, just to make the reference. This could be bad. My name isn't Chad James. And it's not.
Imagine staring down a dog the size of the planet about to crush you and the entire
a Sora's Wrath reference!
For no reason, bro. For literally no reason.
Out of all like references this fight can make, a Sora's Wrath. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't get it.
I love that game. There was no reason for that to happen.
I'm okay with it, but what the hell?
Yeah, I'm okay with it, but why though?
I'm okay with it too. Yeah, and then that leads to Courage's best moment. Holds it, inhales, and starts screaming so loud. You see the image of a sore Scooby shatter, and he falls to the earth in a giant explosion, wounding both of them.
Top 10 death battle moments that have no reason to go as hard as they do. Number 1.
Yes, absolutely. This is like top 5, top 3 levels of the best moments in a death battle episode.
Dear gosh.
Forget even that's just the most what the fuck is happening moment.
Yes. And then both of them are just exhausted until we see the monster's back. I don't know where the monster was when all this shit was going down, but he's back.
He took a break. He had to go get a snack from the fridge real quick.
Well, I mean he was doing a lot of
super solar flare blinded him.
Well, that and he was doing a lot of running, and he did get hit in the knee with a laser. So I imagine, he probably had to rest, get a snack, just recharge his batteries,
I mean, like he had to drive. I mean, like he had to drive out the invaders. This is his home.
There you go. Well, until it's revealed, he makes the ooga booga booga sound. He's like,
yeah.
Who could that be? And then, just I guess to defend themselves, which I do like this, Scooby picks up Courage, puts him behind him, puts the chest of demons down, and the chest of demons come out, take off the mask, and it's
oh my god, it's Eustace.
Who could have seen this coming? It's not as if there were two obvious hints to who the monster was.
Gosh.
It's Eustace.
Like I could forgive those who didn't recognize it at first with the mask, because to be fair, I didn't. But once I heard the ooga booga booga, I'm like, oh wait, okay, that's Eustace. And then like 2 seconds later, the mask comes off and it's like, yep, all right, here it is.
There you go.
Because I know Courage the Cowardly Dog like the palm of my hand, I immediately, like, as soon as the real opening was playing, I watched this on the premiere. As soon as the monster came out, I was like, oh, that's Eustace. Like, I didn't even need to second guess. It's like, oh, the mask, the lanky frame, yeah, that's Eustace. Although, Jesus Christ, Eustace really is that skinny, and his bones really must be, contorted, because dude was able to just contort and crawl around like a spider at one point.
Yep.
But, yeah, so remember, I did make the joke saying, oh man, imagine if something bad happens to Eustace in this episode. Bro is gonna be all over that shit. And then, oh, look at that!
What do you know?
You make it,
he gets his head.
you make it sound like it's like
Gosh.
becoming a meme that I hate Eustace. Is that not like the common like opinion? Like, does anybody actually give a shit about Eustace?
In the same way that I like villains.
Yeah, okay, look. I know this. Okay, please. I know this is gonna sound like stupid shit I'm saying, but there have been times in the actual Courage series where Eustace was a legitimate good person. It just doesn't happen as often as you think of that.
Gosh.
I personally blame seasons 3 and 4, because at least in seasons 1 and 2, he was just an asshole, a greedy asshole, but he still did have human value. He did still have human decency for his wife and for those who were kind of like him. It's just he's a giant fucking dick. But anyway, dude gets his face shredded.
Yeah.
Like, fucking pastrami, he gets his face shredded.
He died the same way Lex Luthor did.
Yeah, he did. Although, if I had a nickel and then he gets trapped in the chest of demons, and then Scooby and Courage just pass out. Also, fun fact, if I had a nickel for every time Eustace ended up being trapped inside inside something, I have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but this is kind of the second time that has happened. The first time was in the actual show. Dude was trapped inside of a haunted money box that had gold, shitload of cash, but nobody could escape it. Even his dead brother told him not to go in the damn thing. He doesn't listen. Oh, we lost him. We lost ZDogg.
Oh no.
ZDogg. He got trapped inside the chest of demons.
Okay, well,
rip.
Oh, he said BRB.
Oh, okay. But yeah, then he gets trapped in it, and he's stuck in that box with all the money and gold and jewels in the world, but he can't spend it. And Courage won't give him the key to let him out.
I mean, I understand. If I'm Courage, matter of fact, I'm not only not giving him the key, I'm burying the key 30 feet underground. That's awful.
Yes. So, yeah.
Do you think once Courage, once Courage comes to, he'll rejoice in the fact that his oppressor is dead?
I mean, well, okay, you would think, but there were 2 times where when Eustace did die for good, like no bringing him back or anything, one time Courage didn't even care because he was just focused on Muriel. But the second time, he kind of developed Stockholm Syndrome and went insane because both Eustace and Muriel actually died, and Courage couldn't bring them back because they were turned into... Both Muriel and Eustace were turned into lifeless puppets, and they could only talk.
I remember that episode.
Yes, they could only talk and move if somebody pulled the strings. So when Courage rescued the puppets, he took the puppets home, and to resume his daily life, he now has to operate the puppets and make them talk and do actions, including making Eustace be a dick to him. So,
does that?
Although I imagine this case would be a little bit different because he would at least have Muriel. I can't pronounce her name at the time, but I imagine she'd be pretty sad that he's just dead. Oh no.
Oh no! Well, okay, that's fine. Well, I mean, on the one hand, how are they going to make money? Because Eustace, if you can believe it or not, Eustace does bring the financial income to keep the farmhouse running. And I'm sure they'll figure it out. Muriel can just bake. You know, she does have great baking, so, you know, hey, just sell some food.
Hell, maybe she can crash with Mystery Incorporated.
They seem to be close.
Maybe Daphne or one of Shaggy's many rich relatives can write them a check and pay for the farmhouse.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So
I mean, Courage pulls random things out of his ass all the time. I'm sure he could figure out a way to just get them basic supplies.
I'm sure he can. I mean, he is a genius, so I'm sure he. How hard could farming be? Courage can do it.
Look, he figures how to pilot spaceships in matters of seconds. I think he could figure out farming.
Yeah, the thing farming is a little should be good.
I think he could be good at agriculture. Yeah. So that's it. That's the animation. What in the holy fuck is this?
This is such a good fight.
Luis, why must you spoil us so much again?
He just keeps trying. What can I tell you? He just keeps trying.
Keep trying.
This is probably gonna go down as one of my favorite animations of the season. I don't even think I need to lie and I don't think I need to try and lie. I'm being honest. This is probably one of my favorite animations of the whole damn season because just holy shit. There's so much that this really does feel like a second crossover.
It really does.
Like
it does it pretty well.
And I love how it ends. It just ends with so somebody did die, somebody was vanquished, and it was Eustace.
There you go.
My only real complaint with this episode, great episode. I enjoyed it a lot. It's definitely top 5 for sure. But my only complaint is it's a episode of Death Battle with not a lot of battle. And I get it. It's more on the comedy side, and that's fine. I enjoyed it. I just wish there would have been a little bit more back and forth between them.
Well, I mean, I think that just comes down to that just comes down to what can they do, because I did see one of my friends when I did a reaction with the group. He said that this animation felt short, and I immediately was like, "What the hell are you talking about? This is the longest hand-drawn fight we've ever gotten."
Yeah.
This thing almost clocks in at 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Damn.
Yeah.
And it's arguably the longest, and it's a minute longer than Jack versus Afro. So, I mean, I think it was well paced. Well, the battle stuff. I mean, see, that's just it. We did get some battles. I mean, we got a thumb wrestling battle. We got Courage packing heat. We got the Sabrinsky triangle. We got the we did get the Asaurus Wrath moment. So we had battle moments, but I see what you're saying. It was kind of.
The other part of it is that Scooby and Courage aren't really combatants in a sense.
Okay. Yeah. Between the two of them, between the two of them, Courage does know how to fight. He can fight,
Those
and
hands
he can.
actually most episodes.
In fact, Courage straight up fought a master of, I think it was either Kung Fu or just traditional Chinese martial arts, and he actually was able to keep up with her successfully. So, but Scooby-Doo is not a fighter; he's more of a trickster. So,
Yeah. Well, like, I didn't need like an extensive like long form martial arts fight. I'm not looking for like a Dragon Ball tier fight in this animation, obviously. But even like if the scene where he's shooting the laser at him, if they would have had slightly more back and forth with I almost said Goofy, with Scooby using some of his weird gadgets like the fear gun they brought up, like even just a little bit more there would have been great.
yeah.
It's honestly it's like a minor nitpick if I'm being real, because it's a great episode and the actual battle is great. It just felt light on the battle part, is my point.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I can understand that. And again, I did call that they were going to primarily use the Scooby Snacks. So, yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it. I think this animation just had everything I could have wanted in it. And props to Luis. Big fucking round of applause for Luis.
Yeah, for real.
He did. He brought it. He did 75. I think he did 75% of the animation by himself. And he had, well, if not all the animation, but he did have help from two returning former Death Battle animators. One of them did return this season in Vader versus Obito, but this one, it's her first return since I think she left in season 7. Christina came back.
Oh,
Hey.
nice.
Yeah, we got both David and Christina back to help Luis out for this.
Nice.
And obviously credit to the people who did the backgrounds, the modeling, and of course to John Mitchell. John Mitchell also deserves just as large round of applause because his storyboards are what really saved Luis this time around, because Luis didn't have storyboards for Jack vs. Afro. He had to do that all by himself.
Freaking mad lad.
So yes, I do.
And despite all this, there I checked the credits so I can confirm. Not a single scene from Moro.
Nope, nothing from Moro. And Zack Attack. I forgot about Zack Attack. Please forgive me, Zack. Zack also helped.
Nice.
Yes, so
yeah.
I am a little surprised Moro didn't help, but I understand why, because if memory serves, if I'm interpreting this right, Luis is the one who handled all of the drawing of the two characters. He's the one who drew all of that and did the rendering, whereas the other stuff, like the CGI... I
think some of RP's animation department helped out too.
Yeah.
Perhaps they did. I don't know. And from just what Luis himself, because Luis did put out a giant thread going over everybody who helped him out with this animation. So perhaps they did. But I'm just mainly crediting these particular people. But props to everybody around who helped. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm so happy Luis didn't have to do this all by himself for the second time.
For real. Yeah. Honestly, just claps to everyone on this episode. Y'all did amazing. Like, my gosh, I can definitely see why this is a top tier episode for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah,
man. Indeed.
And we're not done yet. We're not
what's
done
crazy
yet.
is that we're still not done.
No, because now we gotta talk about the most important thing, the other important thing that made this fight pop off. The voices.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Frick me, it's Billy Burson as Scooby.
I called that. I told you. I called it. I get bragging rights.
There you go.
There you go. Here, I'll give you this.
There you go.
Yay!
Yeah, and
He does a good job. He sounds like Scooby.
Yeah, I can get it.
He does. He nails. It's not 1-to-1 like Frank Welker or Don Messick, but it's good. It's a Scooby Doo voice. Like,
Yeah,
it does the job.
he definitely has one. He definitely has one of the hypest Scooby Dooby Doo line deliveries I've ever heard.
Yes, that was the highlight. That
made
was
better by being a god.
Yeah.
God.
that was the highlight for me.
Gosh.
I also.
Yes.
No. I was also going to say but it doesn't stop there. He also voiced Eustace.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, he was also the voice of Eustace.
Nice.
And from what little we heard, I think he nailed the original actor Lionel Wilson's performance. That was very good, especially the "What's huh?" That's one of Eustace's many catchphrases. So, and I'm happy that if you look on the Versus Death Battle Wiki, the last thing you hear before Eustace dies literally is, "You stupid dogs, you made me look bad. What's huh?" And then boom, dies.
Then dies.
Like, he doesn't even really care that he's being murdered in the Hellraiser box. He's just like, man, you made me look bad.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he did good. I loved his performance as both characters.
Yeah.
Real quick, because this is just a quick speed run. Liam also did the voice of the computer.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
It's basically his voice as Q from
I was just gonna say that. Yes.
Like it's basically the same, but it works, so I don't mind.
I mean, yeah, it works. It works.
I mean, it's funny because I went back and looked. I was like, I actually don't know who voiced either Eustace or the computer, and I look in the credits and it says Billy and Liam. I'm like, oh, of course. Like, they're always the background characters, aren't they?
Yeah, so I kind of got my wish. I was wishing for Liam to be in this episode, and there you go. I kind of got my wish. I do want to say his delivery of how to defeat a Great Dane with a speech impediment, eh? You twit. I loved that delivery. That was straight up so fucking funny. And I've seen many reactors just lose it with that delivery.
I think it's really funny that despite the fact Courage and Scooby are friends and know each other, he still felt the need to roast Scooby while typing into that computer. He could have just had a great day with 2 hours, right? He had to say with a speech impediment. Thank you, very cool, Courage.
Yes. Speaking of Courage,
yeah, on the topic of Courage,
freaking Edgar Bosco. What?
Holy hell is this?
Freaking Edward Bosco? Are you kidding me?
Okay. Friendly reminder: your friendly neighborhood one-winged angel, super plumber,
you
lightning ruler. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, no. I do.
Our favorite purple dragon, our favorite rock god, and our favorite magnetic mutant.
Gosh, I swear.
Welcome to die.
I swear.
Okay, when we were going
to make fun of you a little bit later.
When we were going no, go ahead, ZDogg.
Aren't voice acting roles fun sometimes?
Yeah.
Yes, especially when you don't get them.
Yeah.
What? There's just the range on this man. Like, how does he go from Spyro to Darkseid to Magneto to Courage? Like,
Courage.
You don't see the similarity between Darkseid and Courage. They're both nigh unkillable. They can both do almost anything. I'm sure there's something else.
Gosh dang it. Yeah. Like, what? Like, I'm okay with it because he sounded good, but like,
Yeah.
what?
Dude, he was
What the?
spot on.
Yeah. I mean,
I
yeah,
do
from what?
definitely have to wonder how much water he had to drink after doing a like 9-second long scream. Like,
Oh no! So, fun fact: I received breaking news 2 days ago. Upon looking at Edward Bosco's Twitter, he did talk about courage. Somebody asked him. How bad did you strain your voice when you had to do the courage scream or that scream? And Edward simply replied, "None at all."
Really? No, I don't believe it.
It's true. Man pulled a Lenny fucking Pator and was able to do those screams and that scream without straining his voice.
Damn.
Bro, the voice actor for Goku nearly passed out going Super Saiyan 3. How you gonna tell me he did that? I was like, fine, alright, cool.
And yes, like ZDogg said, that wasn't a looped scream. Whenever we see for the Asaurus Wrath moment, no, that's straight up fucking Edward doing the scream nonstop.
Gosh.
Right, you know what? You know, I mad props, honestly.
Yeah, for real.
yeah.
Wouldn't be me.
Gosh.
Voice actors have so much power.
Yes, and I do want to
it.
say Edward's performance is my favorite between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's very good. It's very good. I really enjoyed it. It's my favorite performance. I think he captured Marty Greifstein's original performance beautifully, but also doing his own thing. I did laugh whenever he did the three door bit from his screams, and I had so much hype. I had so much hype whenever he did the scream for the Asaurus Wrath moment. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Adding on to that scene, to why that scene goes so hard for no reason.
Yes, and his delivery of "this could be bad," or "my name isn't Chad James," and it's not. It was, oh my god, that was so close to Marty. It's uncanny.
It's really funny that they did the Asaurus Wrath scene, right? Because I'm watching that with ZDogg and my friends, and I had just played that game this year. I go, I know that scene.
Dude. Yeah.
And I also and funny enough, maybe in an alternate universe this could have happened, but I found out too, ironically, Edward Bosco used to work at a theme park where he would dress up as Scooby-Doo with a Shaggy performer.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
No. Yeah, so
I don't know how to interpret the words you've just said.
So we could have had Edward potentially do the voice of Scooby and Courage.
Gosh dang it.
I was like, damn it. Again, Billy was great, but it's like, oh my god, now I want to hear what Edward's Scooby-Doo sounds like.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it was. Like, his performance was amazing.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff all around.
Yes.
Like,
Solid voices.
gosh.
Yes.
Alright, and now for the track.
La musique.
The music.
The music.
I have not listened to it outside of the fight. I've been very busy.
Why?
I have a job. We've been over this.
You can listen to the music while you're working. Oh my goodness.
Bro, you don't know the environment I work in. Even if I had 2 headphones, then I wouldn't be able to hear it. Workers are loud.
But
Anyway, so Forever Terror Night's pretty good. Oh.
Yes.
sounds pretty good. I won't lie.
So this also, and I also called it. I get another bragging rights. I called it. This would be Their Wolf Media doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, but what I did not.
what are these musicians on? Like,
Okay.
I have to
I was
ask,
gonna say,
how on God's green earth do we have 5 vocal tracks in a row?
In a row. Like,
okay, yes.
Flash.
Okay, so that's not even the crazy. Yes, this is the 5th vocal track in a row, which is fucking crazy. But the craziest part is, I guess, fuck it, either Liam told them to do this, or Aaron, and by the way, for doing the vocals for this track was actually, for the most part, Aaron's wife.
Mm-hmm.
This was his wife doing it. And Aaron did the guitar. And of course the other instruments for the chase scene and the distraction scene, and the banjo work at the end. They just decided, okay, you know what? What's the most iconic music media of Scooby-Doo, like entirely? Terror Time from Zombie Island. So Aaron and his wife just decided, okay, we're just gonna do Terror Time.
Do it again. Just do it again.
And it's like, oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah. It sounds really clean.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Track.
Yeah.
Especially for the Azor's Wrath moment.
God. Yeah.
I know one of you guys posted it in our server, but I did see on Twitter someone
That would be me.
Yeah, someone edited that scene with freaking breakthrough it all. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
god, it fits.
Fits perfectly.
So it's fun. I was talking about this with Nate and Aiden last night because we did our Ruby discussion, which might be out before or after this one. Check it out. Smile. It's like, and Nate asked, and I kind of agree. Like, is Sonic Frontiers music basically like the new Metal Gear Rising?
There you go.
Yes.
Like. You know, like it just like it's one of those like it fits for everything.
Yeah, there you go.
Ending here.
Gosh.
Oh, that's not the craziest part. The craziest part. So I was rewatching. I was rewatching a playthrough of Sonic Frontiers with the first boss with Giganto.
Mm-hmm.
Bro knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that scene where with the first piece of music, I listened to that on its own because I do listen to it from time to time. And I got to a certain section and I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm playing back the Azor's Wrath moment from yeah, you see where I'm going with this. I play it back in my head. And then all of a sudden it fits. It fits.
Because of course it does.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. I mean, not complaining, but still.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, yes, I love this track. It's got everything. It's got a bit of Scooby, it's got a bit of courage, and it's got a bit of fucking hype in it. Thank you, Aaron, and your beautiful wife. Thank you both. You killed it. This is probably... Is it better? Now, is it better than the hypest of tracks we've had this season? I don't want to go that far, but I do think it's up there. It's up there. It deserves to be up there with God's Hand, Bill Cord, Skyrim, Dragon Ball, Dark Souls, and 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 Megatron and Frieza's track.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Fireborn still has yet to be topped, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, my favorite track of the season is still Inhuman, and I don't think that's gonna change.
There you go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that one's really good too. So yeah, that's
Sorry.
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yep. Man, this. Wow. Like, amazing episode all around. Like, dear gosh.
Yes.
Like, claps to everyone who put their effort into this episode. Dear gosh.
So, unpinning the I am heard of this as a joke or gag fight. I extremely disagree. This was not a joke.
I wasn't calling this.
They did. Right? No, I know you weren't. I was not referring. I'm referring to people who have called it that. One reactor who I will not name. I've seen other people bring it up, saying that. Look, I get it, but this is not the definition. By Death Battle's definition, this is not a gag fight. It is a serious debate that they legitimately could not find a winner. So
at this rate, I think just people just throw that term around willy nilly. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I kind of consider it a gag fight, but like. To me, there's a difference. I think I've said this before. To me, there's a difference between. So to me, there's a difference between a gag fight and a joke fight. Like when I think of a gag fight, I think of like something like this, or like I don't know, Hercule versus Dan, or Red versus Blue. Like when I think of a joke fight, I think of something like Chuck versus Segata, or Goomba versus Koopa, or Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie, like fights that are satirical. Like you're not meant to like they're not meant to be like this super serious, let's end this debate sort of thing.
Exactly. Like just because fights have cartoony characters doesn't automatically make it a joke fight, in my opinion. Like I don't know. I get annoyed when people use that term for certain matchups, but yeah, this is absolutely not a joke fight. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, hey, you know what? No matter what we call it, hot damn. Like,
yes, I agree.
ZDogg.
Indeed. So, yeah.
No, I do. I love this episode so fucking much with all of my fucking heart. It is personal to me.
I would have a lot of questions if you didn't.
Yes, no. I think this episode is a masterpiece. Like, from beginning to end. I have no complaints or criticisms, and I've watched this 20 times. I've tried. I can't find anything. I do not mind that this ended in a tie. I actually prefer that it ended in a tie.
I'm kind of in the middle on the tie, but I'm like in two minds about it.
I mean, again, it makes sense.
Yeah,
why it's a tie.
And the reasoning they gave is 100% logical, and I do not mind it being a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, 100%.
They didn't beat around the fucking bush. They didn't beat around the bush.
It's just a personal thing. I've just kind of been like kind of indifferent to ties in general. So my
only worry is that like I just hope that I just don't want all Toon Force versus Toon Force fights to be draws. That's my only concern.
I guess Toon Force really is just unbeatable,
Like-
isn't it? Like
Like-
even two
like-
Team Force
like that-
characters going against each other couldn't do anything.
Like that's my only concern, that this is just going to lead to like, oh, Lamau, it's just going to be ties, which I don't want, but I'm sure.
Because I think they did a good job explaining how that wouldn't be
Oh,
the
yeah.
case. Because they even
Yeah,
talked about
no.
it. A lot of Toon Force characters have some weird object, and this one just
Yeah.
happened that each of them direct counter to their 1-win condition.
Yeah,
Makes
like
that
that-
draw.
Uh,
If
Which
it's
I-
like Bugs, Mickey, they probably have their options to kill each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll likely get to that episode in the future, but yes, I do. Look, I do. I love this episode. It did what I was the target audience for this episode, and it achieved what it set out to do. And the fact that it ended in a draw, it makes me feel so fucking happy and satisfied, because then that means these two characters that I loved, they got to live. They still got to throw hands from time to time, but the fact that it ends in a wholesome ending with the real fucking villain of this being dead and trapped in a box of demons, I couldn't ask for more than that. So yeah, it is. It's this. I could feel the labor of love this episode had put into it, and I really cannot stress how the hand-drawn fights continue to set the bar high.
Indeed.
So yeah, 11 out of 10.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah.
All
Yes, and-
right.
Solid ass episode.
And we've got 2 more episodes left.
3 more, including this.
Yeah,
Three more.
well, 3 more technically, yeah, but we're in the end. We're in the end stretch. We're in the end goal now.
We're in the end game now, Tinky Winky.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that
Uh,
I couldn't stop myself. I started saying the line, it was done. It was
Gosh,
joke.
well, you know,
Anyway.
yeah. Well, you know what time it is, guys. Oh yeah, it's time to get
I was
short.
God.
Gotta get
Time to get
tricky
tricky. Time to
Oh,
get tricky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get on the floor.
All right, there you go.
Oh man, Bros gonna hate this one. He's gonna
All
hate
right.
this character.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
So,
wait,
we-
the balls! all right, say it. It's time for science.
time for science.
Yeah,
Indeed.
science,
With-
bitch.
with 2 I don't even know what you call it, 2 magnificent I can't speak, magnificent, I can speak English, I swear, but 2 magnificent universe hopping doctors about to go head to head, or science people, whatever you want to call them. They're something of a scientist. Anyway, it's Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty versus the Doctor from Doctor Who.
You know, ZDogg, sometimes science is more art than science.
Indeed it is.
Oh boy. All right,
yeah,
Favorite
let's
quotes from Rick. So
So,
stupid.
let's not sugarcoat this. This is a matchup that has been heavily requested over the years. And this matchup comes, and just the idea of this matchup happening could trigger both fan bases, or one of the fan
Oh, yeah.
bases. So,
Indeed.
although, look, I'm going to say it right now, I actually am excited for this, and I have wanted this fight. I wouldn't say I wanted it more than Courage versus Scooby, because I was mostly a fan of Rick and Morty, but now that I am a fellow Whovian, I like this matchup even more, and I'm very excited that it's happening. Although it's not as if this fight was slightly teased in Bill versus Discord. Or anything.
No, not at all. What are you talking about? Nah.
Yeah, admittedly, like once people pointed that out, we really should have seen this coming.
Yeah.
No, we all agree this one's the beaker, right?
Well,
Gosh.
we were gonna talk about that later, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like, jokes aside,
Might
yeah.
as well get it out of the way, yeah. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know, kind of should have expected this one like sooner rather than later, I guess. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like both series are really big in pop culture. Both have very dedicated fan bases, for better or worse. Take your, I'll leave you to decide. I'll leave you to decide that. Obviously, no shade. No shade.
Morty fan, I will say for the worse.
There you go. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, I don't know who the Doctor had, but I mean, you know, Rick had a bunch of other possible opponents. So I mean, you know, could have been. I mean, I'll be fair, it could have been anyone else for Rick, but I mean, you know, this was the most popular with the team. So I mean, yeah, no duh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rick is also slightly based on the Doctor, so it makes sense. I mean, he's pretty inspired by him, but there's also some other inspiration in there.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah. So, this fight's happening now. Neat. I mean, you know, I mean, I can't say I'm the one most looking forward to this. I mean, obviously, Combo and Jedi. But, you know, I think it's pretty neat this is happening. So.
If y'all haven't seen ZDogg's reaction, I popped off when I saw Rick.
Yeah, I'm very happy I got that on recording. Gosh.
And just like that, you've said more than I could possibly say.
Yeah.
Great, bro. Episode podcast.
Because if there's anybody that this is not the target audience for, it's me.
Valid. I mean, hey, not any fight's gonna be for everyone. So I mean, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't absorb enough or any Doctor Who, and don't really give a shit about Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, before we get into like the actual debate part of this, I'm surprised they're doing it this season, saying it's all just having to do with all the controversy around Rick and Morty right now. I don't want to get into that too much in specific, but just like all the stuff going on with it. Nice Rick's season.
I mean, I imagine this is like a case where like they planned it like be like
they were too far into it when it happened.
Yeah, at this point, and I mean, you know, didn't stop them from using Lich King. So I mean, you know,
that's fair.
I mean,
although
hey,
that drama and this drama are a little different.
Let's not get into either. But yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, you know. So
I just like I thought I'd bring up because I even mentioned that at the beginning of the season. I'm like, I don't think Rick Doctor was going to be this season for that reason alone.
Yeah, but hey,
like
you were wrong. Yeah, there you go. I guess Combo, do you want to get, I guess while we wait for Richard, since we gave our thoughts on the characters, Combo, what's your experience with both of these two?
So I'm a pretty big Rick and Morty fan. I watched the show when it first came out, and then I fell off for like a season there towards the end, just because I didn't have a way to watch it. I've gotten back into it in a big way, binge watched the like season and a half I missed and rewatched everything. And actually in preparation for this, I watched the 4 episodes of the new season that had just come out. My original plan was like, oh, I'll just binge watch the whole season when it's done. And then this happened, so that plan got a little ruined.
Let's see.
Doctor Who-wise, I know bits and pieces of Doctor Who from my older brother who watches the show and enjoys it. And then I did a little bit of research before coming on this podcast because I figured I should probably know something before I debate this even slightly.
Oh.
Cool. I too am a Rick and Morty and Doctor Who fan. I've actually been watching and been with Rick and Morty since it aired all the way back 10 years ago. I remember seeing promos for it.
God, it is that old.
Yeah, I know. December.
Make me fear my mortality.
December 2013. That's when the show's first season premiered. I remember, like everybody, I loved it. It was amazing. Also, too, fun fact: Rick is not a parody or of the Doctor. He mainly is a parody of Doc Brown from Back to the Future, because the original concept for the show was a Back to the Future parody by Justin Roiland and his friend Dan Harmon, where it's Doc and Morty, and there's one episode where it involves something sexually with Doc and Marty that I don't want to go into right now, but that concept was picked up. Yeah, so that concept was picked up by Adult Swim, and it just became Rick and Morty. So it rears its Back to the Future references on its sleeves. The first 2 seasons were amazing. I loved the first 2 seasons. Season 3, not as good as I was hoping for. That was the black sheep. Season 4 was a good return to form. I need to catch up on the current season. I should have done that last night, but I have seen all 6 seasons. I have a lot of merchandise in relation to the show. I haven't read the comic books. I should have, but I think we'll be okay. And I also have seen the anime Japanese Shogun Rick stuff that Japan made. And I am very excited for the Rick and Morty anime that is coming out. Yes, it's getting its own anime done by Japan. And so that's cool. I was happy to see Rick make... I'm happy Rick has made a shitload of cameos. He's essentially now become the face of Adult Swim. Rick and Morty are everywhere. They've made crossovers, they've made appearances, they've pretty much done it all at this point. And the craziest thing is, they're only up to season 7 right now. So they are pretty much the reason why Adult Swim is still going that strong at this point, for better or for worse. And then for Doctor Who, oh god.
Yeah, go ahead. I was about to say, one other thing I forgot to mention, I also main Rick and Morty in Multiverses.
Of course, yeah. I didn't dare do that. I did main, I tried out Morty, but as soon as I saw that Rick was better suited for an expert player, I was like, okay, nope.
But before the game went down, I think I was like ranked top 1,000 before the game went down with Rick.
Very
nice. I was, yes, that is. Congrats. And then of course, I knew of Doctor Who. I never watched any of the shows. Because spoiler, fun fact, there are 2 shows of Doctor Who, but they're both connected, so it ultimately counts as one show. But I knew of the Doctor from Family Guy, from a little YouTube musical that crossed over the 11th Doctor with Sherlock from the Sherlock Holmes TV series. And then last year, I decided, all right, let's watch it. And this year, I went on a massive Doctor Who binge. I watched season 1, which is technically season 9.
Because that's not confusing at all.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I watched the 10th Doctor's run. I watched the 11th Doctor's run, and I finished the 2nd season of the 12th Doctor's run, but I haven't seen season 10, which ends his run, because I'm very much afraid of what that's going to lead into with the 13th Doctor's run, which I have not seen. So yes, and I did read a little bit of the Doctor Who comics, including the crossover where the 11th Doctor and his companions cross over with Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh.
So yes, I'm a fan of both, and I'm very excited to see both of them in here.
Yeah. Now, honestly, it feels like, I mean, me and Bro, spoiler, don't have much to say on the matter, but like, I'm just kind of surprised it took, like, it's like another case, like, it feels like these 2 should have been in Death Battle like a long time ago. Like I know, like, Rick and Morty, like, obviously is a newer show, so I can understand that, but like, I don't know, with like how popular, like I said, with how popular both franchises and like characters are, like I'm surprised like this didn't happen sooner. Like, in retrospect, I'm sure I'll be glad it didn't, because I'm sure this fight will go freaking hard. But like, you know, just kind of odd it's kind of odd how it took this long for these two franchises and characters took to show up. So
there is a little bit of a coincidence. It's not the Death Battle curse, but it is a Death Battle coincidence that the time that they're doing this show now, this episode now, excuse me, we are currently 4 episodes in to the 7th season of Rick and Morty with the new voices for Rick and Morty because Justin Roiland, that son of a bitch, is now gone.
Again, let's not go too much into that.
We mentioned for a second when I was shocked this episode is happening now.
Yeah.
But another thing, too, is that 5 days before this episode, 5 days before this episode comes out, on November 25th, we are going to have the special, the one of 3 specials featuring the 14th Doctor, bringing back the actor David Tennant, who played the 10th Doctor, and also bringing back the old showrunner who was responsible for bringing back Doctor Who for the modern audience.
Oh, that's neat.
So the time is right. Doctor Who turns 60 years old this upcoming November, and Rick and Morty will turn 11 years old in December.
It really feels like it shouldn't be that long. Like,
you literally just said that Rick and Morty was a new show. I'm like, we just discussed about how it's not that new anymore.
I know. Okay, in comparison to Doctor Who.
No, you are right.
That's fair.
And in comparison, cause like, wait to. Sorry, I'm trying. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
So like in comparison to a lot of Death Battle franchises that have been used to this point, it's new. All right, there.
All right, so
That's fair enough.
let's go ahead and go over things.
Yes. So production first before
Sprites.
anything else. Sprites, yeah. It's okay, good. I was gonna say again, sprite fight, right?
Yeah, I imagine
I'm a little-
Sprite makes sense. I imagine there'll be a couple of hand-drawn shots, but not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Just going into the production aspect, this is tricky because Rick and Morty are primarily a hand-drawn show, and the Doctor has had animated segment specials before featuring 2D animation.
Varying results.
Yes, 2 varying results. And both have 3D models that exist. Obviously, you could just use the multiverse model for Rick and an existing model for the Doctor. But on the other hand, Origin did actually do commissions of Rick and both the 10th and the 11th Doctor for somebody, so he could whip up some good looking sprites.
Yeah.
But something, I don't know. I wouldn't mind if this was another hand-drawn episode, because it would be so cool to see just what they could. The craziness that these two can do, I think it is better visually. It's more visually better and conveyed if it is in a hand-drawn or 3D environment. I don't know.
Crazier with sprites.
That's the thing.
I mean, yes, but hey, don't count the hand-drawn animation. Hey, don't count the. We just saw what Luis can do, and let me remind you.
I'm not counting it out. I'm saying count the thing people were talking about with Bill Discord. Like, if you would have done hand-drawn for Bill Discord, there would have been less fight and they would have done less stuff. For this, I think sprites is the best way, just because Rick, at least from what I know, Rick has a lot of insane shit that he can do, and I'm sure the Doctor's got some weird stuff he can do too.
I don't know. It could be either. I'm not saying. I'm hedging my bets. It's either going to be a sprite fight or a hand-drawn, or another hand-drawn fight.
No, you're all forgetting one crucial factor. Both of these guys show up in Bill versus Discord, and we are 1000% getting their perspective on things in this episode.
Okay, I really.
Oh god, that's gonna be awesome.
I don't. Okay, okay. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that was just a cute little Easter egg. I really don't see them going into Bill versus Discord. I'm sorry. That's just me.
I mean,
If there was ever a fight to do this with, it would be a Rick fight.
yeah.
Again, I'm not gonna. I don't want to give my hopes up. I'm positive that that's not gonna be referenced. I just think that was a cute little Easter egg thing that has no bearing on what this fight will entail.
I mean, maybe. You never know. So, I mean, and I guess I will also throw out because I just had this thought. Like, I mean, I know they might want to save this for the finale, but maybe this could be another style swap match, like Popeye Saitama, like
it's
where
possible.
like they go into like one, or like I guess Bill Discord also did it in smaller scale, but go into a portal, like maybe like have it change styles to like I don't know, like 3D or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just saying,
Okay, actually,
hand-drawn,
I think to go for your
hand-drawn should not be not left out on the not left on the table. That's what I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm sure that. I mean,
back to back seems insane.
yeah, that's also what I'm thinking. Like I love the team, but like having two solely hand-drawn fights back to back seems a bit too crazy. I mean, if they could do it.
The same could be said with having two 3D fights back to back, specifically two Blender fights back to back.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, having two 3D fights back to back is nowhere near as insane as having two hand-drawn fights back to back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just saying. We're gonna keep that. If it's sprites, it's sprites. I'm fine with that. But I would just love it if they could go crazy one more time and give us another hand-drawn episode. I'm not saying it could be done by Luis. It could be done by the Rooster Teeth team. We haven't seen them in a hot minute, so you never know.
My ideal style for this would be to do a Gojo Makima, where it's mostly sprites, but you have the standout moments just done hand-drawn. I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, either way, it's a toss-up. Still, I think this animation is probably gonna this animation could potentially this animation could probably go toe-to-toe with Bill versus Discord and Scooby versus Courage if it's done right.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it, regardless of the style. As long as they don't do something fucking weird, like live. I don't need to see live action.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Okay, so voice acting and music.
Combo, we were talking. We were talking.
All right. Hold on. Let me just say it. If Bro doesn't know where I'm going with this, then everyone else should know because I'm just that fucking predictable.
Okay.
Get Tom Schultz to do the voice of Rick. They're done.
What? Okay. No, what?
So.
Okay. Wait. Okay. No. I want to hear this real quick.
Yeah. Go for it.
Tom has actually done a good Rick voice. Okay, I don't need to. He a long time ago he did his version of the speech Obi-Wan gave to Anakin in their fight in Return of the Duel. I'm sorry, in Revenge of the Sith. Why did I say Return of the Duel? In Revenge of the Sith. But he did it as both Rick and Morty. Uh-huh. And his Rick and Morty, granted, is it 100% accurate and is it 100% one-to-one from Justin Roiland's voice? No, it's not. But the enthusiasm, the mannerisms he has for both Rick and Morty, it's so fucking good. I legit think he is he has shown that he is a very versatile actor. So having him do the voice of Rick, and maybe that would be funny if we got to see a cameo from Morty, that would actually be kind of cool. And Yeah. So, yes, I think it needs to be Tom. And if it's not Tom, good luck to whoever ends up doing it. But it's like, come on. It's like they have to they have to either know Tom's work or let Tom audition.
So,
okay,
maybe you and I are talking about the same guy, because I don't remember his name, but when they were finding new voice actors for Rick and Morty in the show, there was this one YouTuber who kept popping up as, like, people wanted him to take the place, because he does such a spot-on voice for both Rick and Morty. Yeah, I was talking to ZDogg, I'm like, it'd be cool if they got him. Like, if he was even, like, the fan pick to be the new voices, that could be a cool grab. If not, Rick and Morty's voices aren't the most complicated ones. I can do a competent one. Not right now because I'm a little sick, but like ordinarily I can do a competent Rick and a pretty good Morty.
You can't do it. You can't do it, Combo. It's too hard to do. You fucking idiot. What do you mean you can do a good Rick voice?
Every time I've muted during this podcast call so far, it was to violently cough. Otherwise, I would attempt my Rick voice right now.
Oh, jeez, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for them to find a good Rick voice. I don't know, man. Oh, Jesus, they don't get Tom. This is gonna be bad.
You know what? I think either of those are a pretty safe bet. I mean, I will never complain with more Tom Schalk, especially recently. But like, yeah, I think either of those two would be good choices.
Me and Bro literally have it as a motto on a plaque in this house. We respect Tom Schalk in this damn house.
Yeah. Very good. Man.
Although Bro is being uncharacteristically quiet as I'm bringing up Tom.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
I don't know.
I don't know shit about these guys. Like I am out of this conversation.
All right.
Well, good to know you still exist. So good. Okay. All right then. I guess I have no clue who the doctor. Actually, you know what? I did have a random thought, even though it would be a bit crazy. I mean, I guess it really also depends on like which doctor they're going to be focusing on for like the animation.
I mean, I think everybody. But I also know the one with the scarf is pretty popular.
I was gonna say, I know the 10th is probably the most iconic one, so if they were to go with that, and this is gonna be crazy, am I the only one who thinks that maybe Liam could do a good 10th Doctor? Like on our answer?
Probably.
Yeah, I actually think Stephen Kelly could be a good choice.
I was going to say Stephen Kelly.
Oh, Stephen Kelly. Well, yeah, I could see Stephen Kelly. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Richard, you're the doctor expert here. I mean, don't know, like,
if it's specifically the 10th Doctor, then you just need to do a good Scottish accent. That's pretty much it. You need to have the mannerisms of David Tennant down, and you need a Scottish accent. So, and I think the best idea he could do is, I think the best way to go about it, if it's Stephen Kelly, just do your Obi-Wan voice, but Scottish it up.
Scottish it up sounds like the worst tagline to a beer.
I mean, Ewan McGregor, the guy who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's actually Scottish.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Now you do.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. That is how information works. Thank you very much.
Although there is a legitimate YouTube impressionist out there. He's even been recognized by the Doctor Who, by the Doctor Who, by the official, well, not just the community, but by the official people who run the show. Yeah, the staff, BBC. He does a legit. I'm not even joking. It's like 1-to-1. It's identical. He does a identical Ninth Doctor voice, 10th Doctor voice, 11th Doctor, and 12th Doctor. So he would actually be very good if they somehow could reach out to him. But I don't. Yeah, no. I think if they're going to use a rotating actor, Steven's the best bet. He can do accents very good. But Liam would be a good choice. Although Liam would have to Scottish his voice up. I think he would just have to do his cue and just add some Scottish in there. But if they got it,
imagine Liam does Rick.
I was gonna say if not for Deep Fried, I want this episode to be titled Scottish It Up. Gosh, yeah, we'll see what happens. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
I got nothing other than that.
Liam does Rick. Smile. Oh.
No, Liam does Rick, and then Tom or whoever else we said does the Doctor.
You know what? They're both silent for the whole fight. If we can't agree, then they get no voices.
No voice.
That'd be the worst. Dude, Rick in a death battle, but he's not allowed to talk, would be the worst possible outcome.
Gosh. All right. All right. So music. I mean,
is this gonna be our 6th vocal track in a row?
I swear.
Okay.
I swear.
I have to say yes, because a Rick and Morty track without Get Swifty in the lyrics somewhere would be a disappointment.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't deny that they could do it, but I mean, I do feel like this is more like non-vocal, truth be told, like a more non-vocal.
I mean, yeah.
I can see. I mean, I more so see it going to Therewolf as well, just because. I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking of like the band of like Emerald Heroes. Like I imagine this track has more of like a spacey vibe, like a more spacey, interstellar, like
I wouldn't go
kind of
Emerald
vibe, you know.
Heroes.
Well, not Emerald Heroes exactly, but
I don't know. Rick and Morty's like really like strange, kind of almost jazzy, but not quite jazz. It's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking of like that kind of style that like the style I'm thinking like would fit better with Therewolf.
If I'm gonna be real, and this is gonna be a really strange comparison to make, but I would go slightly more towards the style of Gojo Makima's track.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Brandon, who does the track. This sounds like it could be up his alley.
Really?
Also, should say I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so may have to fast forward to the pay section.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah.
Unless y'all got anything to add on the music?
I
no.
don't.
The only thing I want to say is the track needs to somehow be timey-wimey and swifty mixed. I'm not sure how you do it, but that needs to be the track name.
Thank you for spoiling the phrase timey-wimey for Bro and ZDogg. So yeah, there you go.
Oh, my bad. That's what the only.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm joking. Just context. That's how the 11th Doctor and certain characters in Doctor Who refer to time travel crazy batshit scenery. They call it timey-wimey.
Oh, okay.
The 10th Doctor calls it wibbly wobbly.
Ooh, maybe we can do something with that for swifty.
I don't know. We'll find something. And I guess just real quick, since time limit, I guess only last thing we have to say for production is this is another Max episode, editing wise. So that's cool. He gets to edit 2 of his most wanted episodes back to back. Funny how that works, ain't it?
I'm not jealous.
You're jealous.
Don't lie. You're jealous. So yeah, that's cool. That's neat. I'm sure he'll do good. So yeah.
All right.
All right. Now.
Who be winning this? Combo Jedi, the floor is all yours, but you can't take it home. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna sit here and chill.
Floor. Okay, we can debate about the floor later. I need a new one.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So I've done a little bit of research into the Doctor specifically for this podcast because I've heard a lot of things about him that I don't know the full accuracy of them. I'm gonna do my best here. I am rooting very heavily for Rick, and I am siding with him for the sake of this debate too. Like I think he's got his options, but I think one of the biggest things from what I understand with the Doctor is the Doctor can kind of regenerate infinitely. That's like his whole gimmick, right? Like you kill him, he comes back.
Okay, so quick thing. Yes, the Doctor can regenerate. His regeneration takes 10 to 20 seconds. However, when he does regenerate, it's not as simple. It's not as simple as it was back when he was younger. Now, when he regenerates, it basically creates a big fireball of energy. In fact, when the 10th Doctor regenerated into the 11th Doctor, or in universe 12th Doctor, it's timey-wimey, so just don't question it. The 10th Doctor's transformation into the 11th Doctor via his regeneration, it actually destroyed the inside of his TARDIS. Like, there was fire everywhere, blast everywhere. The TARDIS itself was heavily damaged, and it needed to regenerate itself. So his regeneration can be destructive, whoever's on the wrong side of it. But that's not the, trust me, if we had more time, I would go over everything, but I do have key trump cards that pretty much proves that I believe the Doctor is going to win this.
So, if I'm being 100% honest, as much as I want Rick to win this, as much as I think he could, and I know it's funny after this last episode, I think a stalemate's probably the most likely solution here. Because just as the Doctor has an infinite amount of regeneration ability, essentially, Rick's Project Phoenix allows him to infinitely get new bodies, essentially. Because all the Ricks across the infinite multiverses things are hooked up to his. He just keeps getting new bodies.
Okay, so first of all, want to just say, the Doctor's regeneration has a limit. He can only regenerate 12 times. After 12 times, he can die. The other thing too, if you mortally wound or if you mortally wound the Doctor while he's regenerating and you go for the killing blow, boom, he dies permanently. There's no coming back from that. That's weak. Those are two weaknesses when it comes to his regeneration. But here's his main. Here are the main big guns. All Rick's technique, and I also want to counter the Operation Phoenix. Since the show has already, yes, Operation Phoenix is officially gone. Rick no longer has access to Operation Phoenix as of season 7. Because while he got rid of it in the Tiny Rick episode, yes, it was revealed that he hacked other Rick's dimensions, hacked their Operation Phoenix, and every time he died, he would go into their bodies, which comedically, every body in every different Rick universe he went to had a fascist Nazi Rick, including a stuffed
ZDogg.
Yeah, including a stuffed little teddy bear Nazi Rick. Just go with it. But then, when in the season 6 finale, in the season 5 finale, we find out that no, it is actually the season 6. Anyway, in that, Evil Morty already had a counter to Operation Phoenix when all of the Citadel of Ricks was falling and in peril. They used Operation Phoenix, but Evil Morty put in blenders to kill them as soon as they went into their new bodies via Operation Phoenix. And Rick has pretty much gotten rid of Operation Phoenix. He does have other ways like robot duplicates and holograms, but he has given up on regenerating bodies as far as much. He does have a way to come back from death. It basically involves loading up a capsule, shooting it or into somebody's body. Then Rick is essentially can hop out and be born out of their body, and boom, he has no clothes, but he's Rick. He still maintains his consciousness and his new body. So that actually can be used, but I do not believe Operation Phoenix will factor into this because that is not a standard bit of arsenal. That is a failsafe that pretty much lines up with Death Battle's number one rule. If a character takes too long to regenerate and they are killed on screen, then a death is a death. So even if Rick was given Operation Phoenix, guess what? It doesn't do jack shit in the fight. It takes minutes to upload his consciousness back into a new body, and it doesn't happen in the same place. He's transported back to his lab in Operation Phoenix's tubes, and boom, he's back home. So therefore, by the logic of Death Battle, Rick did die. And also, too, here's the Doctor's main trump cards as to why he's going to win. Number one, experience. The Doctor has over 2,000 worth of experience. This includes martial art experience, traveling experience, scientific experience, and sword fencing. A bunch of experience. This man is the smartest person in not just his universe, but of all time. He can create long-term strategies like Rick, but unlike Rick, if a plan doesn't go the way the Doctor plans it, he's very good at adapting the plan and basically coming up with counters to it. He doesn't need to jump into fisticuffs. So that is something he has over Rick in terms of intelligence. In terms of gadgets, the Doctor has 3 gadgets that are going to pretty much take Rick down. The first one is the sonic screwdriver. The sonic screwdriver isn't just a regular screwdriver. It is a Gallifreyan type device that allows it to absorb and deactivate all manner of technology. And that's a problem for Rick.
One of the things I was scared about. Yeah, this is the other ones I was scared about.
Because Rick, ever since season 3, Rick has given himself cybernetic augmentations inside his body, and all of the gadgets he carries, and the gadgets he carries inside of him, they rely heavily on technology. So all the Doctor has to do is point the sonic screwdriver at him, and Rick's whole cybernetic augmentations are deactivated. His portal gun, which of course Rick has, which can jump through many different dimensions and universes, can also be hacked with as well, because the sonic screwdriver can hack things, and it's essentially a Swiss Army knife. It can do anything, but the main one is disable technology. Doesn't matter if it's human, doesn't matter if it's alien. It's got technology, it uses electricity, it's gone. Number 2, the TARDIS. The Doctor's TARDIS isn't just a vehicle, it's a sentient living thing. It alone could crush Rick if it wanted to, because it's going to take care of the Doctor's well-being, and it can do many things. It can, if you're inside the TARDIS and it doesn't like you, or if you're trying to destroy or rip apart the TARDIS, it will play this sort of mind-fuckery game with you, or it'll trap you in an alternate room, and it'll put you through some real PTSD level shit. It can come alive and basically fuck with you psychologically if it wanted to. It can also eject you if it wanted to. So it could eject Rick out or just trap him inside the TARDIS. He's got nowhere to go. And the other thing too, the TARDIS, the reason why it's small and the reason why it makes its classic sound effect, that's the parking brake. But the Doctor has said, if the TARDIS doesn't land in a correct way, and the way he lands it, the TARDIS will destroy a planet if it's not parked right. And in terms of traveling speed, the TARDIS once outran and created the Big Bang.
All right.
So, and the last thing, the main thing, this is pretty much GG for Rick. The Doctor, during the second Doctor's run, the second Doctor in his second regeneration encountered no, it was the third. Yeah, third Doctor. Excuse me. The third Doctor was basically given a gun, and it's a special Gallifreyan gun.
Shit.
He keeps it in his TARDIS as a sort of so that way it doesn't fall into dangerous hands. This gun is called the DMAT gun, and what this bazooka does, anybody who points it and fires it at its target, it can erase the target from time and reality forever, with no chance of coming back. It's essentially a Hakai gun. If it fires at you and you don't dodge it, you are erased from existence permanently.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying the Doctor would use it, but he has it in his TARDIS, and if the situation comes down to it, because here's the difference between Rick and the Doctor as characters. Rick is a giant fucking maniacal asshole who hides behind all of that because he's in pain, because of him losing his wife to a main evil version of himself. So he chooses to be a dick to people on purpose, and he is the smartest man in the galaxy, in the entire multi-universe, but he always will go into fisticuffs, and he will always rely on it if his plans don't go well. He'll rely on fisticuffs, his gadgets, his trash can car, which also, like the TARDIS, is sentient, but that thing does not have near the type of capabilities that the TARDIS has.
I'll talk about his car, don't worry.
Yeah, but the Doctor is a pacifist who doesn't like to escalate things with violence unless it's his absolute last choice. And that's the thing. The Doctor, if in this instance, is actually more dangerous than Rick, because the Doctor has been in shit that would make Rick blush. He has done things to people that he has considered threats without even having to lay a hand on them. The Doctor is a dangerous monster when he's provoked, or when you threaten the people he loves, or when his life is on the line. And Rick is most definitely going to aggravate him and try and piss him off. So, yes, the Doctor is, in my opinion, one of the most overpowered characters to come into Death Battle. And I didn't even mention, and I'm also going to mention why that is. But among the many things the TARDIS can do, I didn't mention this. The TARDIS once sucked out the energy of a supernova, and it was fine. So essentially, if Doctor Who were to ever encounter an evil version of Superman, the TARDIS knew the Doctor was in danger, or the Doctor felt there was no other choice but to do this, the Doctor can just suck out all of the solar energy in Superman's body with either the TARDIS or the sonic screwdriver.
Okay. Let's be fair here, and let's let Combo go over some of Rick's stuff as quickly as possible.
Oh, Rick's
just to not make it
trump card.
Just not to make it
the scariest. Yeah, the scariest thing for Rick to overcome here is the sonic screwdriver, because it shuts down all technology. But that's assuming the fight starts and the Doctor's first act in the start of this fight is to point at Rick and use it. Obviously, the second he does, Rick's going to be running low on options. But he does have options that aren't necessarily going to be completely out of the question. For one, he's got his instant death field, which, assuming the Doctor does not immediately point the sonic screwdriver at him, assuming he is technology, is a big problem. Instant death field's a little broken. But beyond that, which is more of a meme trolly answer, right? You mentioned the Doctor, if you attempt to kill him while he's regenerating, you can kill him. I know he's a higher dimensional being, but Rick has a gun specifically built to kill higher dimensional beings. They use it in an episode where they sell the gun to a hitman, they end up getting it back by the end of the episode to kill that gas cloud guy. So he could theoretically, if he takes the Doctor down once, which is a possibility, not like the most likely thing, but it is possible, he could end it right there, assuming that gun doesn't get fried before that fight starts, which Rick's not going to use a gun that powerful that early. But one of the biggest things that popped in my head when thinking about this fight, and I know it's the meme, but the pickle serum, it's not electricity. And if you turn the Doctor into a pickle, I mean, really, what is he gonna do?
I've got 3 counters to what you're saying, but I'm gonna let you finish because I'm fascinated.
I would love to hear the counter to the pickle serum, but I got a couple other things to bring up too. You brought up the TARDIS, and TARDIS is a very terrifying weapon in this fight as well. Rick's car can do a lot of the same things that the Doctor's TARDIS can. Obviously, the TARDIS has capabilities Rick's car doesn't, and vice versa. But if you remember in the episode, we go inside Rick's car battery, which is powered by a mini universe, which also raises the question on if the sonic screwdriver could theoretically take that one out. I know they generate electricity inside the universe, and that's how it works, but it's a little fucky, so it might be a little different in that regard. But in that episode, Rick's car creates like a fake version of a kid, an officer's lost child to traumatize him. The car has self-defense options. It's fully sentient and can pilot itself. And it crash talks Rick all the time too. Like, it is a fully sentient thing that really, if it came down to it, wouldn't let Rick die if it was aware of what's going on. Rick's got his crystals that allow him to see death coming so he can make proper decisions. He used that in a gunfight during the episode where Morty like Akira's himself, essentially. And then I think one of the other big items I was thinking about for this fight is the Meeseeks box, which Rick could use to ridiculous effect here, because the Meeseeks are incapable of dying until they accomplish their goal. So assuming it doesn't get fried too early in the fight, Rick could theoretically create an infinite army of unkillable creatures to just gang up on the Doctor. And there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, because I don't know how Death Battle will tackle this, but Morty could technically be considered part of Rick's arsenal. I know he's a separate person, but Rick basically uses him as a tool anyway. So that's always a possibility, and Rick can also just freeze time. So even if you want to make the case that he's not standard equipment, Rick could always send a Meeseeks to get him, use the portal gun to get him, send the car to get him, freeze time, and go get Morty. So Morty is technically possibly a part of this debate as well.
I do want to state
and all
for the
of
record
his
that
abilities are.
I do want to state for the record that I'm looking at an incomplete prediction blog, and I'm noticing that the Doctor has resisted time stop before.
Yes, he has. He has resisted time stop manipulation before in the past.
Oh, awesome. Well, regardless, Morty is technically something he could get a hold of, and all of Morty's genetic fuckery Rick's done with him is not electricity-based, so Morty's essentially a mutant at that point. You could argue he's a part of Rick's arsenal, and then that could be helpful. I don't know how helpful he'd be, but it is something.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna. All of your points are definitely valid, and I could see them bringing these up into question. But here's one giant little problem with all of them. They all
I would love to hear this.
They all require prep time, and they were all one-off gag weapons that Rick only used once and never brought back, like the death touch thing. Granted, the Doctor wouldn't be touching Rick, but see, here's the thing: Rick only used that death touch serum because he knew that one of the president's guards was going to touch him and going to escalate the situation. That was a precautionary counter device that he made in preparation for his trip to get the president to take a selfie with Morty. So that would not be something he would. Yeah, exactly. Well, it was owed to Morty. So that's something he would not do.
It's justified.
Now, the pickle serum, again, that was a one-time gag weapon, and Rick has said himself, he is the type of scientist, and he follows the comedy rules of 3. He doesn't like doing things twice. He doesn't like reusing gag stuff for multiple occasions. So if that was the case and he had the pickle serum, okay, guess what? He's a pickle, but guess what? He needed time. When he was a pickle, he almost died. He got extremely lucky that the sun didn't kill him. because the son
I
was
meant
roasting
turning the doctor into a pickle, not Rick turning himself into a pickle. That doesn't help him. I meant turning the doctor into a pickle.
Okay. Again, a one-time gag weapon that even Rick has said he doesn't like reusing that stuff twice because it's just not his style. And all of your other points, and all of your other stuff, again, that requires Rick to have actual prep and knowledge of the doctor in order to give himself the best of everything. Even stuff like the Meeseeks box, he doesn't generally carry the Meeseeks box on him. As seen in the fucked up Operation Phoenix episode, we see that he actually keeps the Meeseeks box in his car and in his car at all times, or he keeps it in his garage, so he wouldn't have the Meeseeks box on him. And in fact, that's how the Meeseeks box was introduced. It was a part of Rick's shit in his garage, so it's not standard equipment.
So yeah, you can make the argument for standard equipment and all that, but Death Metal does tend to give characters one-off items all the time. If you want to play the role of only their standard equipment, then Rick's not going to have a whole lot on him. He's going to have like a gun and his augments, and that's really about it.
Yes, because that's always what Rick's standard equipment, as the show has gone on, has always been his portal gun, his cybernetic enhancements, and his intelligence of what he knows and what he thinks he can do and how he can adapt to the environment to come ahead in a fist fight. And number 4, his car, and Morty as well. So his standard arsenal is very limited, and even then, it has its limits, because the Doctor's TARDIS, his sonic screwdriver, those can do anything. Now, a good counter to the sonic screwdriver, if they were to fight in an area, if Rick had knowledge and prep time of the Doctor, and he figured out and he knew the sonic screwdriver wouldn't be able to work on non-technology, like let's say a suit of armor that's made out of entire wood, because that is one of the weaknesses of the sonic screwdriver. It cannot interact with wood. This means trees or anything that is sentient involving wood itself. So if Rick were to build a suit of armor of wood, like he did in the episode where he went down to fix his car by convincing the people of that universe to get their shit together, and he fought the guy who essentially stole his gimmick by using nothing in the environment but wood stuff and building a suit of armor that had many gadgets comprised of stuff in a jungle, then yes, I think Rick would have a perfect counter to the sonic screwdriver. But the problem is, again, that requires Rick have prep time, and that is where my biggest point comes in for why Rick would lose this fight. Rick is better and at his best when he knows the situation and he has a way to prepare for it. Because when he's caught off guard, not just intelligently, not in just terms of intelligence, but also physically, he is in trouble. There have been many times where Rick has even admitted that he has just gotten plain lucky and he could not think of a way to get out of a situation he was in. Whereas the doctor is always 10,000 steps ahead. He can know and predict anything, and even if he can't follow through with a strategy that he himself has planned, he's great at adapting to the situation in a way that Rick doesn't. Rick relies on fisticuffs and his technology when things don't go his way. The doctor relies on his talk and his wits to get out of a situation. The man literally has a silver tongue. He can talk his way or bluff his way through anything, and people will believe him. Like how he was able to convince a new advanced race of his mortal enemies, the Daleks, that he was holding a self-destruct button. The old Daleks. The old Daleks. He was able to convince his mortal enemies, the Daleks, that he was holding a self-destruct button to the TARDIS, and if he pressed it, it would take them and him with him. And he was able to have this bluff be so believable that even the original Daleks believed him and they backed the fuck off because they believed he was that crazy. Because that's one of the other things. The Doctor is a crazy person. He will do whatever it takes to get that. Yes, but Rick, when Rick gets crazy, he beats the shit out of you. But when the Doctor gets crazy, he creates whole new circumstances and bluffs in regarding his situation that he's literally able to come out ahead more times than Rick has.
You remember the superhero episode where he got so drunk he built saw traps that killed the entire team?
Yeah, but that required, yes, but here's the thing. When he was sober, he didn't even understand what his drunk self did, because he admitted when he gets drunk, he doesn't know what he's doing, and even he can't decipher what his drunk self is doing. So that just proves if Rick gets crazy, he does things that not even he knows what's going to happen.
Hey, Richard, can I ask a hypothetical real quick?
Sure.
So you mentioned that all like the stuff for Rick that that Kaba brought up was like one-time prep BS.
Yes.
Hypothetically speaking, if they are included, does the Doctor have any way of getting past them?
Well, let's see. If he indeed... Well, here's the thing. The Doctor, let's see. The pickle serum thing, we don't know how Rick was able to do it. From my understanding, Rick didn't use a ray gun or anything. He legit just took a syringe.
Probably a needle, because that's how he got cured, yeah.
Yeah, he took a syringe needle and injected himself with it. So that would mean he would have to get close to the Doctor, and the Doctor is massively faster than light and has FTL reaction speed. So he would be too fast. Yeah, but I would say the Doctor is faster.
I can add to that. Hold on.
What's that?
Where are
I also wanted to talk about physicality, but we'll get to that in a second, because Rick's got some insane feats.
Well, if we're talking about speed real quick, one feat that came to mind, I don't have, it hasn't been linked yet, so I don't know if, like, I don't know the context, but apparently the Doctor grabbed an object moving at, and I quote, super infinite speeds.
Yes. What? I know what you're talking about.
It's like hyperbole if I've ever heard of it.
No, well, yes, it's true. It is true. That's the thing.
Infinity? That's the most bullshit sentence I've ever heard in my entire life.
Also, too, here's another thing. You asked the question, what would happen if Rick did equip the one death touch? Well, see, that's just it. The Doctor's regeneration cycle doesn't, to kill him, let's say Rick touches the Doctor, and he's laughing, saying, "Ha, you're dead." The Doctor will just look down and be like, "Oh, that's a bit weird," and he will just shake it off, because there was one time where the 10th Doctor was overfilled with so much radiation in a ER hospital by Rhino police, by a lady who wanted to hide herself from intergalactic Rhino police officers, that she overloaded the 10th Doctor with so much radiation from the X-ray machine that he faked that he was dead, but in actuality, he was being theatrical. He did need a jump start to his heart, but it didn't kill him immediately. If anything, he just passed out. And as soon as he was back up, he was able to take the radiation, focus it into one entire point to get it out of his body. So essentially, to put this in layman's terms, he shook the radiation out through his shoe, and once the radiation was all gone and absorbed into his shoe, he took the radioactive shoe off and threw it in a bin. So he could just do the same thing to Rick's death touch serum. And again, it's a deterrent. So it's not, so even if he touches him, Rick, if anything, the Doctor will either just pass out, or he'll be able to absorb it and then expunge it out of his body through a single body point.
Absorb death?
Yes, awesome. Because you cannot, the only way you can fit, again, the only way you can really kill the Doctor is if you absorb him with too much energy equivalent to his TARDIS, because he was able to absorb the inner energy and life force of his TARDIS and expunge it. This did leave him mortally wounded, and it did lead to his regeneration into the 10th Doctor. But this proves that a simple death deterrent isn't going to be enough to kill him, or at the very least jumpstart his regeneration cycle. He has to take an enormous amount of damage.
Rick might actually have an answer to that then. If it's an energy absorption thing, Rick might actually have an answer to that. Granted, it's quote-unquote a one-time thing, but most of Rick's gadgets are one-time things that they don't really bring back. But assuming he's given...
sorry, I feel like it just in... we should just count, like, say it's standard anyways for this, just for the sake of fairness. Yeah, and the sake of debate. There, it's gone.
Because this is also where Rick gets one of his best feats via scaling to Morty. The checkpoint device, where Morty thought he was saving a point in time and traveling back, but Rick hates time travel and thinks that's bullshit. So instead, it was a device that was tearing apart and stitching together alternate realities. And then when he had to merge them all together, all the checkpoints that Morty merged together, all that he created, had to merge together into one on top of him, which is like a multi-universal feat that Rick should scale to Morty from. Regardless, he was being loaded up with all the energy of all those universes being merged into one. So in theory, he could make a device that could do something like that to the Doctor.
But that requires prep time, and he would have to know that. And even if he did, once again, that wouldn't work, because that kind of stuff wouldn't work on the Doctor. Mortal science doesn't really affect the Doctor in the way that it does a normal human. The only way to kickstart his regeneration cycle is to legitimately wound him with either bullet shots or laser shots. But again, the Doctor is smart and creative with his regeneration, because here's the thing, even if he does mortally wound Rick, then Rick is going to be in the epicenter of his regeneration, and that could potentially do some major damage to him if he's not careful, because that's the thing. When Rick thinks he's got the upper hand, instead of just finishing them off quickly, he loves to prolong the situation and essentially start monologuing and tell everybody why he's better than him. And if he does that, the Doctor is going to take those valuable seconds that Rick is wasting, and he's going to flip it right back on him. Because again, Rick's biggest enemy is himself.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that for sure. Rick is going to get in his own way a lot during this fight. I do think the Doctor winning is a very high likelihood. Rick does have some options. I did see on Versus Battle Wiki, and this is where I checked some basic stuff for the Doctor, so all of it might not be entirely accurate. But apparently he's got the ability to cancel out magic, which does get rid of a funny thing I was going to bring up with the fact that Rick could just summon his dragon that he's still technically soul bonded to some degree, which would be hilarious. But I mean, if he canceled out magic, there's no point in even bringing up the idea of the dragon.
Yes, so yeah. Also, too, the Doctor has telepathy. All Gallifreyans are versed in telepathy, so he could just communicate with the dragon and convince him to say, "Yeah, fuck you, Rick. You're a piece of shit." So there goes the dragon.
All right. So I guess ultimately, because Rick is really good at building on the fly, if we assume he's able to use the Meeseeks or Morty as a distraction, it's not out of the question for Rick to build a device to fight the Doctor on the fly. Not saying that's the best option, but that's not completely out of the question.
I also have one more big counter that legitimately has proven to be Rick's downfall at every turn. The Doctor, when I said the Doctor is very versed in telepathy because his people have telepathy skills from birth.
Yeah.
The Doctor can also erase minds. All he has to do is touch Rick and erase his mind. And we know Rick is susceptible to mind manipulation because he has
I wish I could say you're wrong, but yeah.
Rick has had his mind erased not once but twice. Both times because he fucked. Well, 4 times. Twice being
this season happens to him twice.
Yeah,
Damn.
and here's the funny thing: the two times that I'm about to bring up, the reason why they happened and how he got his mind wiped is because Rick was a fucking idiot and accidentally mind erased his mind. The one time with him and Morty, and in the recent episode where he used a Men in Black style memory eraser, he accidentally pointed it at himself and erased his own mind. And Morty had to put his mind back. So all the Doctor has to do...
another one this new season too where he fucks up again. Like, it's yeah.
So all the Doctor has to do is just grab Rick, and he could essentially make him go like, where am I? Oh my god, I'm glowing! Why am I glowing?
God.
Hashtag it.
Yeah, no, that's a very fair point. I think ultimately this comes down to then, if the Doctor is willing to kill Rick before Rick finds out a way to kill the Doctor.
Well, again, the problem is, the Doctor is the last. He's the last of the Time Lords. He comes from an ancient species that people have only heard rumors about, and unfortunately, not much is known about the Time Lords as a species, other than whispers and rumors. The Doctor is a unique specimen because Rick would have to do extensive research and get major prep time to know exactly how to take down a Time Lord. That's really the driving factor here. All of the unstandard gadgets Rick has that have either been used one time as gags to teach Morty a lesson, or because he needed it as a preparation device, or fallback options like Operation Phoenix. All of these needed Rick to do extensive research. He's not good at coming up with improvisation on the fly when it comes to figuring out a situation diplomatically or using his science, unless he's been around the gap. In fact, because he's been around the universe so much, he does have a vast knowledge of things, but even he's admitted himself when Morty has asked him questions, Rick has admitted there are things that he doesn't know. And that is what gets him into trouble when he's in a situation that requires knowledge on something. The Doctor is literally 2,000 years old, and he's been all over the cosmos, and he has a vaster knowledge of things that Rick doesn't have. And even if there are things he doesn't know, he's able to pick up on them very quickly. He can tell when somebody is distressed just by looking and observing their body language. He can tell when a situation needs his involvement.
You know, it's scary that Rick is on Death Battle and he's outsmarted. He is the smartest man in the infinite multiverse. How the fuck is he not the smarter one in this fight? I guess one of the biggest things I wanted to ask about this fight, because like I said, my knowledge of Doctor Who is very, very limited. But where does he land physically? Because Rick does have legitimate, like, universal, multiversal feats. Well,
see, that's the thing. The Doctor is multiversal. He has superhuman strength. He has superhuman strength. His reflexes are again, I pretty much said his reflexes are massively faster than light. And of course, he can, because his regeneration can save his life, he can keep going even after he has regenerated. Or the best part, he can actually prolong his regeneration. He can prolong his regeneration process until everything he needs to do is done. Because towards the end of the 10th Doctor's run, he was already dying, but he didn't jump into his regeneration process immediately. He was able to hold it off for at least maybe 24 hours before he regenerated into the 11th Doctor. So physically, I would say he's multiversal. He does get that durability because he has survived some crazy shit.
Okay, so physically they're going to be on par with each other then, which is... Fuck, that might be one of Rick's bigger advantages, then it's just he can punch really, really hard.
Yes, but here's the thing. the Doctor may not engage in fisticuffs, but he can fight in unconventional ways. Like, for example, the 12th Doctor was able to beat Robin Hood, aka the greatest swordsman in his era, in a sword fight on a ledge overlooking a small pond with nothing but a spoon.
What? Okay.
I'm sorry, Zito. Of all the things we've talked about, why is that the one you're reacting to like that? Have you been listening to any of the Rick and Morty parts?
No, I have. Okay, listen, I've been weirded out, but that's just how do you? Okay, with a spoon.
Also, too, specific. I should reference this. I've been going all over the place, but my main source that I'm sticking with in terms of which Doctor I'm using is the 10th Doctor, because he is the most iconic Doctor Who of the modern era, and David Tennant is an awesome actor. But the 10th Doctor can get scaling from his past selves and from his future selves. Like, if I was talking about the 12th Doctor, let me just tell you this. You want your mind blown even more? The 12th Doctor was trapped in a prison that was meant specifically for him. It was essentially a time loop. He would come out of a teleportation pod. He would figure out clues. He would get cornered when he would see that he's surrounded by a wall that is made of the strongest substance alive, tougher than diamonds. It can't be broken by conventional gadgets and tools. And he would die to a creature that was trying to interrogate him. He survived in this trap specifically made for him because for 4.3 billion years. He was trapped in here for over 4 billion years, and he was able to get out because he figured out if he punched hard enough through this substance with his bare hands, he could get out to the other side. So he went through the same time loop routines again and again, punching the wall, getting more and more further, prolonging his death even more until he finally escaped his own trap meant for him. And it only took him over 4 billion years. And he didn't age, and he didn't go into his regeneration cycle because it doesn't count. It was a time loop.
Okay, so I want to go back to the mind thing for a second, because you brought up the idea that he could just delete Rick's mind, which is a scary thing. But I guess it also comes down to, it sounds like the Doctor likes to try and talk his way out of things more often than fight. And Rick has had his mind invaded. Rick's had his mind invaded multiple times where he's ended up tricking his way out. Infamously with the formula that let him take over the body of the one guy that was in his mind. Like that whole thing. Yes. He made a fake memory.
Yes, he did make a fake memory, but see, here's the thing. He knew they were going to do that. He was kept in a prison where he knew the ins and outs of how they were and how they were operated. So he intentionally created a plan that would involve him creating a fake memory to create a way to block his captor, his torturer, from getting back out of his mind, and he swapped bodies and minds with him. So once again, that required extensive prep time. It wasn't something he just came up with on the fly.
That's
and
fair.
Once again,
there's also the simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation episode as well.
Yes, which again, did he? Okay, here's the thing. I would make the argument that he only figured out he was in a simulation after the second time. The first time, he legitimately didn't. The first time, now, there is evidence to suggest he knew he was inside a simulation, but he didn't know that he was inside another simulation until after it was done. Then by the third simulation, that's when he realizes, okay, it's a trap within a trap within a trap. So that's why he created... the deadly concoction that blew up the people and the place that kept him inside a trap within a trap within a trap. Which again, that just came down to this basic knowledge of what to mix and what not to mix.
I mean, yeah, there is that bit. I'm pointing out like he's a lot better on the fly than you were giving credit for earlier. Like, yeah, he does resort to punching people if all else fails, but like he is very, very inventive if he really needs to be on the fly. Even when he was handling his own trap they laid out for those superheroes in that one episode, he built gadgets to get around his own traps that he didn't realize he built. It's like while he was walking around. There's that like the sentry gun scene is the main one I'm thinking of.
All right.
Yeah. I think we should have led this. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot. if you're not familiar with both series, it's a lot of weird shit.
This is gonna be a complicated debate when the episode actually comes out.
Probably. Okay,
right.
but I think is it time to make our final?
Yeah, I think it's time for final predictions.
All
right. Dude, how did we do? Do you think we provided you all enough information? Which, by the way, Combo, you did a great job. I legitimately was looking forward to doing this debate with you. I'm a little sad it's going to go on for a little bit longer, but,
Yeah, well, I think you both did very good and wrote very well.
You did a great job. I was actually very much looking forward to doing this as well. I made sure to kind of speed run growing grocery shopping so I could have time to do this debate today.
There you go. All right. I think we all know who Richard's going for at this point.
Yeah.
so you can knock him down as the doctor.
Yeah.
Say again?
Yeah, you are going for. I imagine you're still going for the doctor after all that, right? Okay, I was gonna say.
I'd be amazed if I got him to switch sides.
I've been rooting for the doctor. He after watching the show and especially the 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctor's run, the Doctor is one of my favorite characters in fiction, and I cannot wait to get most of you a part of the show and let you guys see the awesomeness that is Doctor. That is what was Modern Doctor Who before it became a bit fucky now, but now hopefully things can get better in the future going forward with the show. So yes, David Tennant's 10th Doctor, he's definitely up there as my favorite version, but I think the 11th Doctor by Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi as the 12th, they deserve some love too, because god dang, man, they are just so fucking charming, especially the 11th. He's essentially like he's a child inside of a grown man's body. It's awesome. But yeah, sticking with the Doctor. Sorry, Rick. I did love Rick and Morty when I was a kid, when I was out of high school. The fan base has made me be a little hesitant to call myself a fan now. But I can only hope that the show still finds some way to maintain some kind of laughs and relevance. So even if it means it isn't what it used to be.
Doing pretty good.
Well, that's good. So yeah, Team Doctor. That's who I'm going with. That's who I think's gonna win.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Should I go next, or are we?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't care.
All right. Okay. I guess I will. All right. Well, Rick does seem extremely impressive in his own right, and does have a lot of impressive gadgets and stuff that I think could give him an advantage. But ultimately, I do think I will be siding with the Doctor. He just sounds so broken. like Rick sounds broken, but like Doctor sounds like way like it just sounds like a lot of I know. I know, right? But yeah, I think just Doctor has just the right counters, the right abilities. Like his regeneration seems way too broken, and I just think Rick might have a way to put him down, but I think just the Doctor. I just think the Doctor just has enough of what he needs to take Rick down. So, especially with the Mind Wipe, like if the Mind Wipe, the Mind Wipe sounds like a very surefire way to like put Rick down, or if not put Rick down, like what's Rick gonna do after he gets his Mind Wipe? So yeah, final bets Doctor, but if Rick wins, good for him.
Yeah, I'm going with the Doctor as well. Just everything I've seen on this, I'm like convinced at this point that the Doctor is going to win, and basically for all the reasons ZDogg already mentioned. So I don't really have anything more to add. But I do agree that the Mind Wipe thing is like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Especially if Rick has been susceptible to it before,
4 times, 3 of which were stupidity.
On top of that, the fact that Rick is not the smarter of the two is kind of telling as well. So So
and again, I just
not to mention them being on par or Doctor being stronger. So
exactly.
I do just want to hammer home. I'm not saying Rick couldn't get a killing blow, but there is one little problem. Rick will always take time to stop what he's doing and gloat before taking the time to actually do the deed. And that may come back to bite him in the ass in this episode if he doesn't put the Doctor down immediately. So that's just another thing going against Rick. It's his own arrogance, because he has to tell you in exclusive detail why he's the smartest person in the room. It's a compulsion at this point. He can't help it.
Yeah. I will say, I am still rooting for and betting on Rick here. The Doctor is definitely going to be a very formidable foe for Rick, and I definitely see the copious amounts of ways he could win, but I also see Rick has his options, and because he's so just inventive off of next to nothing, and the amount of things he could use to stall for time, I think it's entirely possible he could win. I don't think it's the more likely situation, but I also can't turn my back on Rick on a fight that's this potentially close.
Yeah. All right. Well, I believe you both deserve this. Good job to both of you.
Thank you.
All right. So the Doctor, I guess you could say it's the Doctor who will win this match. Anyway, just turn around.
Dog, I've never contacted this podcast. Thank you for that. I will permanently leave after that one.
Just do the thing. Just do the thing.
So you know what time it is. You know.
Welcome to the Tournament of Champions!
Yep. The last new week of matchups. We are almost to the end of this thing. We're almost to the end. Man. What a ride. So that means we only have 4 new episodes to talk about from this, since we already covered the other ones in a previous episode. Haha.
Yeah.
We're smart.
Although,
sorry, Combo. Sorry, Combo. You won't get your opinions, but your opinions are still valid.
Nah, my opinions don't matter. What are you talking about?
Damn.
Yeah, true.
All right.
No.
Damn.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's okay. ZDogg's my so-called friend. It's fine.
Exactly. Same here. All right. Let's do this.
So, last
we have
week,
a bit of
last week as we're recording this, and by that I mean it'll probably be 2 weeks ago. It was Halloween. We had a very. It was very spoopy time for a lot of people. And what better way to celebrate that than to have literally all these matchups be Halloween themed, or at least in some capacity.
Yep.
Yes.
Funny how that works.
Yeah. And all right. Well, I'm just gonna be honest, like right here, right now, before I even say any of these. This is probably the batch I have the least amount to say.
Oh,
wow.
what?
Cause like I don't know, like apart from the one I voted for, like none of these matches really like vibe with me.
That's fine.
But we'll get to that in a second. First up, Freddy Krueger versus Pennywise.
Yep. Nightmare on Elm Street versus.
Yeah, let's go.
I am
If I
down.
could have voted, this would have been voted for.
Fair. I mean, it's more horror movie characters. These two sound like these two could bring a lot to the table, and it just sounds like a lot of fun. So, I am down to see it.
I just so badly want to see Death Battle write lines for Freddy Krueger, because Freddy's one-liners are already easy and shitty as they are. Hearing Death Battle write ones would be phenomenal.
Oh yeah, that would have
Prime
field day with
time.
that.
Oh yeah.
I've been a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street. I've been a fan of Freddy Krueger. I've seen some of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. My all-time favorite one is Freddy versus Jason. That counts.
That's the only one. That's the only one I've watched.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't count,
I did.
if it doesn't count, then I'm out.
It technically is it is more of a nightmare movie than it is a Friday the 13th movie. So yeah, it counts. And
Focus more on Freddy, yeah.
Yeah, I've loved Freddy Krueger. I don't want to say he's a lovable asshole, but no, he is definitely a character that always has had my attention. And Pennywise, same thing. I didn't experience it until the miniseries much later on, due to Nostalgia Critic. But then I actually watched the special by myself. Yeah, and then I went to go see the reboot in theaters. I saw part 1 in theaters with my brother opening night. They had red balloons everywhere. They made sure that IDs were checked, and the manager came out and greeted us and told us what we were about to see. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be scary. Just be prepared. It was the best thriller horror experience of my life. Part 2 was very underwhelming, and yeah, but hey, I'm very happy that out of all of the many adaptations of it, they haven't included that scene. Thank God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's never include that scene. Actually,
we never talk about it. We never, ever, ever talk about that. So yes,
it's full of fun topics today.
I've been wanting
for the best, but I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Better off camera.
Yeah.
I would prefer you just leave me to my naivety, thank you.
Fair enough. Yeah, you know what? It's better because you don't want to know how much cocaine. You don't want to know how much cocaine Stephen King was on when he came up with that scene in the book. Anyway, I wanted this matchup to happen. It is a shame that it hasn't happened yet. We've had Halloween come by here and there, but it still hasn't happened. If anything, this is what I wanted. Not Jason versus Michael. This is what I want. True. So, yeah.
I mean, it's popular enough that I'm sure it'll happen any day now or any year now.
You got your Scooby versus Courage. Quit your bitching.
I want more.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm a huge horror movie fan. Like, I want this fight so fucking bad.
Yes, and now the Galaxy Max is editing. He has stated this has been his most wanted. So if this does happen, he has to be one of the editors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did the fight on a show a while ago.
Yeah. That too.
So yeah, good episode. I think it actually could be a matchup one day.
Yeah.
It's like
I'd be down to see it.
Like, if it doesn't win the poll, like, if it, or like, well, we know, but like, if it didn't win ballot or anything, it's not like this one's never gonna happen. It's not one of the weird ones that'll just be ignored.
Exactly.
Next.
Anyway, so Skeletor versus Lord Zed.
Yeah. Funny how this got.
Skeletor.
Yeah, funny how this got revealed on the Skeletor versus Lord Zed Death Battle cast.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I would like to.
I was kind of hoping that that cast would like be like the push that this match needs.
You would have thought, but not
Would've
saying
thought.
anything.
Mhm.
But
I mean the vote for this match is over, so like whatever.
fair enough. Yeah, no, but
Had to compete
look,
with a different funny skeleton.
I would like to see this matchup. There is potential. I mean, having a He-Man character, another He-Man character come back is good. And I would like. I did say
Skeletor,
I want. Yeah.
Skeletor is probably like the next He-Man match that isn't like a He-Man run back.
For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. I agree. And I have said that I want more Power Rangers up. So yes, Lord Zed in Death Battle would be fucking awesome. We've already had the main 6 core Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Let's get Lord Zed in here, please.
That'd be cool.
Oh, by the way, this is the match I voted for. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Um,
Man, you have pleased your master well, Brobuscus.
all right, that's enough of that. Oh, by the way, whether it's against Zed or not, if Chad doesn't voice Skeletor, then this episode is a 0 out of 10.
Yes, agreed. Thank you. Agree.
Yeah.
Like at this point, he has to. Like he's basically on like Team 4-star levels of like, you gotta get this guy. But whatever.
Yes.
I will also say that from everything I've heard, I do massively prefer this over Skeletor versus
Mumra.
Mumra.
Yes,
Because-
agreed. Because that's just He-Man.
Well, not even just that, but from what I've heard, like the two have canonically met and Skeletor one-shot him. So
That would be the greatest death battle ever. These two canonically met. That's it. That's the whole episode.
that's
The winner is Skeletor.
There's
GG.
no animation. It's just like the fucking 2-second clip from the cartoon where he punches him.
so.
Gosh.
Yeah, let's do Zed instead. That sounds fun.
It sounds neat. That's all I have to say. Really.
And then there's what won.
Whoa, wait, we
hey,
skipped over one.
No, we didn't.
Hey,
Skip
Richard.
The one that did.
Yeah. The next one, funny enough, they came out on Halloween. The next one, before the one that actually won, the next one was The Grinch versus Jack Skellington.
Oh, okay. We just
They did
okay.
a lot of skill.
Just going out of order now, apparently. Okay.
Oh, God, I thought I'm sorry. Well, I wanted to prolong the winner.
Well, you said it, so let's just go over it.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Whatever. Sure, I guess.
I'm hyped to talk about this.
I like it as a match.
I mean,
It's a good fight.
I get it. I get why this match is a thing. Like, I am sure that Death Battle can make this a really cool fight. It's just not my thing.
Yes. Make it the season finale, and get Luis to do the stop motion animation for it, because holy shit, it would look so cool from stop motion.
Yeah,
And
I'll be
make
down.
sure Jack's going to Soul Reaper every single time he attacks.
Soul Rubber, yes.
Oh, Robber, not Reaper. Damn it, my bad.
Okay, yeah, wrong thing. If it's 3D, that's fine. You can just use the Kingdom Hearts Jack Skellington models, or the Oogie Boogie's Revenge Jack Skellington model. I understand. I don't want Luis to
Or
kill
his
himself.
Fortnite model.
No,
Fortnite model.
There you go.
shut
It's
your
in the
mouth.
game.
I don't care.
It looks pretty good. But, oh, whatever.
I've never heard such an angry response to the Fortnite model. It's
Nobody-
not one of the ones that looks weird.
No, nobody being in Fortnite means jack shit anymore. It's not special. Thanos ruined it.
Damn.
Okay, my bad.
It's cool.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes, love both these two characters. Love their movies, and
Hell yeah.
it's like, yeah, this would be awesome to see. Yes, please. Even though it didn't win the damn poll, I want this to happen one day.
I think it has a lot of potential for a fun fight, so I am totally down to see it.
As a Christmas or a Halloween special.
Yeah, there you go. It could work for both.
Yeah, I don't know. I really wish like I could get into the hype on this one, but like it's so
We're going.
it's so not my thing. Well,
if this happens, we're watching The Nightmare Before Christmas. We're gonna have a viewing party for that.
I don't promise to be there.
If you're like, you should have seen Nightmare Before Christmas by now.
I have seen Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, like both these movies, I feel like are just instant classics. Like, if you haven't seen them, if
you think I haven't seen Nightmare Before Christmas, you are on something, my friend.
Yeah.
Now whether or not
it's
I
just
like
not a
it,
cup of tea.
now whether or not I like it or not is for me to know and you to don't worry about.
Yes.
Bro's about to get canceled on his own podcast. Oh no.
Gosh. Alright. So now I guess the one that won. And
the one I didn't want to win.
Man,
hey
Bro's
Richard.
having a bad time.
Hey Richard. Hey Richard. Hey Richard. Hey Richard. Told you so.
Da-da-da-da.
He's not responding. This isn't funny.
I think it's hysterical that he's not responding.
God damn it. I could never have anything.
He's ruining it for you. It's Sans versus Judge.
Anyway, this match is cool. Yeah. I think it's cool. I don't know.
I don't know who the judge is, but the funny skeleton man's probably gonna make for a good episode.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And I have nothing more to say on the matter.
I mean, cool animations have been made for it before, and again, more indie games, which we need more of. So, yeah, give it to me.
It's insane that this episode is either going to clean sweep its semifinals side, or it's going to get demolished. There's no in between. It's either going to be clean sweep, no votes. The meme cannot save it when it's put up against actual matchups.
You say that, but like, I feel like there are
when Kratos and Thora loses to the funny skeleton man.
Valid. Okay, that's fair actually. But like,
I wouldn't count out Palpatine versus Xehanort either.
Yeah, but like there are memes. Like, of course there are memes about it, but like, there's a lot of people who legitimately just want to see like Undertale and Sans get repped on the show. So like,
I would love to see it.
By the way, ZDogg, I admit to the L. I apologize.
Thank you.
I vastly underestimated Sans' continuing popularity.
Yeah.
So congratulations. You got your matchup on the ballot. Bro got his matchup on the ballot. I got my matchup on the ballot. Let the battle commence.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm concerned.
The funny skeleton. Yeah.
I cannot believe Kratos is gonna fall to the funny skeleton. I hate it here.
I'm just gonna say for like the copium and like for any Transformers fans in my audience, please vote X versus Primal. I don't give a shit about what you vote for what the matches that are going on right now as we're recording. Vote for whatever you want. I don't care. Please vote X versus Optimus Primal.
Vote
you
Tom
are
and
the
Wiley.
bullied matchup here.
God.
Those are my closing words. Vote Tom and Wiley for week 9. Damn it. Vote for it.
And there you go. Gosh. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much else we have to say about this. I mean, like, again, feels like Undertale should have been one of those things you're like, why has it not got on yet? And like, this match has been extremely popular, so yeah.
If they can make Sans a less boring combatant than the DBX did, then maybe I'll be okay with it.
Oh well, we see that they will make it more interesting by actually making him talk by text box or otherwise, because that's the main thing. Like Sans is like it's like what people like said for Beerus. Like Sans like needs personality, and if you don't give him personality, or like what Combo said with Rick, like if you don't make Rick, like if you don't make Sans talk, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's like half the appeal of the characters. He's funny.
I understand it for DBX, like I don't know, budget, even though it's not that budget. I don't know. I know he'll make him more interested in a full episode. So yeah. And again, yeah, I was gonna say like I had no doubt in my mind that this was gonna win. Like yeah, Skeletor Zed had like the cast, but like Sans. Period. And again, Undertale fans. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
like, even
Judge
like,
got
if
nothing.
you. Yeah, I'm sure there are some off fans, just they're not as vocal.
Now, Matt, can you imagine? Okay, actually, I almost kind of want this because can you imagine the reaction if Judge wins?
No,
I'm pretty sure he does.
he
I think
from what
everybody knows he wins.
yeah, from what I know, he actually does win. So,
Well, that's
I think
amazing.
the reaction would be more insane if Sans won.
oh well. So, yeah. That's
Cool.
it.
We're done. Yay.
Nice. Nice and easy compared to the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna wrap up. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed Scooby versus Courage. If you didn't, how? I mean, I guess the tie might have ruined it for you, but then again, we don't listen to those kind of people. So smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't enjoy it, then I'm sorry. You know, like I don't. You can go over there. You can go over there. Keep your negativity away from my positivity and love of this matchup.
There you go.
Or again, it's just a skill issue.
That yeah.
Creative skill issue.
Hope you're excited for Rick versus the Doctor. I don't have a witty comment about that.
Yeah, I mean, two people here are so
True.
And
let us know what match you're voting for, or you have voted for week 8, and what have you voted for week 9. And yeah.
Thanks, Combo, for joining us once again.
Thank you, Combo.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I can't wait.
Still doesn't feel right that the season's almost over.
I know, right?
Yeah.
After this episode, there's two left.
Oh boy.
Anyways, I'll also go check out my Penny versus Alyssa script when it comes out. I still have not made much progress on that, but it will come eventually. I'm mentioning that now because we shilled it last time, so screw it.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, when that comes out, go check it out. Yeah. And yeah. So with that, we're gonna wrap up. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye.